This is the AM show. Time now to review the news. A lot of matters arising today. So much happening. We'll try and cover a lot of it. But the Owusu Pele is on the board and will bring us what's happening in front of the newspapers.
Well, even before we start, your people have already started. Tell us how today's going to go.
Yes, I have a fair idea how today will go.
It was Solomon who was saying it's very beautiful.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
And I'm saying that you cannot be saying those things that are no, I'm just saying it was Solomon who started
anyway
having a crush on the beautiful lady who is supposed to.
Is his mic on? No, please turn it off. And I'll go on.
Anyway, let me be brief with it so that you can have the time with them. Let's start with the Daily Guide newspaper. On the front page, CJ receives petitions against SP and EC boss. So now we all await the decision by the Chief Justice on the way forward concerning the Special Prosecutor and the Electoral Commission boss, Jean Mensah. And in the Jean Mensah case, we understand that her two deputies are also part of those who have been asked to, be asked. So let's see what the CJ will do. Now, Angela List's lawyer denies her arrest, and the story says that the CID has denied arresting and granting bail to Angela Atta, who was previously known as Angela List. Get details of that story there. Kwahu Kingmakers dragged Nasibre Kwamwa Ejapon II to Shraj. Yesterday we brought you this story as well, but details are on page, I think, 6 of the Daily Guide newspaper. U.S. blocks visas for Ghana, 74 other countries affected. This is the immigration visa that the U.S. says it is now, has suspended it and is considering some public rules before they decide that they will let you come in there as an immigrant. But if you are going there as a tourist or as a business person, you're still allowed to apply for a visa and be granted if you fulfill the requirement to go to the United States of America. And this story shocks me. Huge illicit drugs seized at Takrady Port. Anyway, get details on page 3, and you can see that like a container that contains some stacks of what they declare as illicit drugs. Anyway, let's do the inside newspaper now. Cuba salutes President Mahama over bold stand on Venezuela. We all know the Maduro story, right? U.S. is still holding on to him. We don't know what's going to happen to President of Venezuela, but that's the Cuba saluting us there. NDK bond depositors seek government relief. They say that their bonds, their monies have been held up, and they want government to help them get access to their monies. VIP seeks corporate backing in government sanitary pad drive. U.S. military takeover of Greenland would be end of NATO, says European Commissioner. But U.S. is also saying that it will rather strengthen NATO. In interesting days ahead of us. Let's move on to the Daily Democrat. Vice President Ofori-Atta push youth agenda. Nugatu warns over illegal Maijo sales and gets him at 10. Also, Tel Aviv Anna's distinguished constituent price of premix fuel reduces significantly in January 2026. That's a good story there, right? Because when premix goes down, it means it also affects how much price of fish we will be buying. The overseer, lead government under Mahama saves Ghana millions. Kwachi Owusu, this is coming out of the accountability series that he addressed on Wednesday. Also, U.S. will not block extradition of Ofori-Atta, Sedina, Tabapu, Ablapa says. Petitions against OSP EC leadership forwarded to Chief Justice, Minister of Government Communications says. Elect Ken as flag bearer to secure victory. Economic stability, open room for business growth. So that's it for the papers. Let's do myjournalline.com so we can wrap it up and hand over to MFA to continue with a guest. U.S. visa pause does not affect short-term travel for Ghanaians. Ambassador Victor Smith clarifies. Kwachofosu hails one city fuel levy role in addressing energy sector indebtedness. And we want them. Nagrat says NACA knew of problem before public outcry. That's it there. And I'll leave it here.
That was so quick. You're rather calm today. Have you had your usual tea?
I want you to.
It's going to be a good day. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, let's get into the matters arising. So much earlier, I told you we're going to be starting with the Auditor General's report highlighting the amount of money that had been paid to some contracted and surcharging them. We shall as well spend some time on the visa pause, the indefinite one, the USA visa, immigrant visa pause. And then we shall also move on to the Ofori-Atta matter, because this will be the first time the set of guests are showing up in studio in 2026. So it's only right that they have their bite on that conversation that we started already this week. Let me just introduce my guest this morning. Joining us this morning is Dr. Joshua Zato. He is a lecturer and political analyst, and Mr. Solomon Owusu, Director of Communications, United Party. Awal Mohammed is member of the NPP Comms team, and a little later we shall be joined by Hamza Suhaini. He's lawyer and member of the NDC Comms team. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I hope you're well, gentlemen.
Yeah, doing well.
I like that smoke.
Thank you.
Is it my first time seeing you smoke? I think so. Not every time.
It's actually my first time seeing him. I was like, who is this? I don't know.
You sure?
Yeah, this is the first time. This is the first time.
I don't know.
You don't know him, but okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The way you mentioned it, like the Lindus, I don't know who I've never met him.
That's Awal Mohammed.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Yes.
You don't know your partner.
No, but
You don't know a member of your own new patriotic.
was introduced here as
Do not start. Do not start.
No.
Do not start.
as an FPP member.
Okay.
Do not start. If I tell Solomon,
Solomon, don't start.
Right.
Okay.
Actually, speak the truth.
Let's start with the agenda.
I said, hey, today you bring the noise.
Well, the Ghana's audit service is surcharged $7.9 million. That's a tune of 94.6 million Ghana cedis against 35 contractors, and has also it has actually revived that debate over how we allocate contracts and how we oversee and also make sure that there's performance. Dr. Zato, I'll start with you. If you have seen that report, you've seen the amount, and you've also seen the reason why they're being surcharged.
once again, thank you to my co-panelists, and thank you to your listeners. This morning, I want to pat the auditor service on the back for this wonderful thing. I want to thank them for this amazing thing they've done. And I want to continue to tell them that if we continue to see such moves, that is how, as a corporate entity, they gain back their respect and their dignity. I've said this before. When politicians commit acts or engage in acts of corruption, it's considered sexy. We all run over it. We are all over it. We talk about it. We discuss them. We throw them under the bus. We do everything possible. But sometimes when it comes from non-politicians, we don't see it sexy, we don't see it weighty, and before we just see it as part of a transactional cost, just the cost of doing business. And so what you then tend to realize is that the microscope is higher and harder on politicians, but not on people that are not politicians. And for whenever the government of Ghana goes to the IMF for a bailout, if you check the numbers, majority of the drivers are from state-owned enterprises or public agencies. They are mostly those drivers there. And so for me, if we want to improve our corporate governance, if we want to improve SOE corporate governance, if we want to even improve and also build on better rules and regulations to prevent corruption, we need to start taking these things seriously. And the Auditor General has a bigger role. Earlier this year, His Excellency the President promised some fast-track courts or specialized courts just for the Auditor General when he presents his reports to PAC. He met with the CJ and they would say, I hope those courts come, and I hope they come faster, sooner rather than later. Because see, unless and until we are able to instill some amount of fear in the public sector, unless and until we are able to say that this should not happen, we will keep bleeding money. Just every year, what happens? And also, see, the Public Accounts Committee has become kind of a theater. People go for performances. They perform, and then it is without real value, real consequences. Just last year, a lot of people were recommended for prosecution. So far, I don't know, maybe you had a journalist who could figure the how many of them have actually been charged and put before a judge? I'm not talking about years, because the year they have been, we've seen. Just last year, before the end of the year, there was a flood of activities. And they said, look, we are going to put these people over there. How many of them have been charged? And how many of them are currently before a judge? I don't think there's any. And that is what's going to happen. They are going to talk their way out of this. If you want to see why it is so revolting when they go before Public Accounts Committee, watch and see whom they go with. Last year when they were all going, almost all the sector ministers or deputy ministers accompanied them there. Even though they were not in government. They were not in government, but they accompanied them there. And that tradition continues. If there's a change of government and a new ministers come inside, even though they were not there for what happened, they're going to accompany them. There's a reason why. Scratch my back, I scratch your back.
That's what it looks, or that's what it is.
They are afraid that if they don't go and give these public servants that come, should I say, political support, they will be exposed. They will get in serious trouble. That is the reason. It's the only reason why. If not, there's no justification. When a minister is going for vetting, he doesn't go with staff, all the staff from his office. No, he goes with chiefs, queen mothers, his wives, his children, some side chicks, Solomon, to go for his vetting. They don't go for
Dr. Zato.
anything else. I know why he would do if he's going for vetting. They know this boy. So the point I'm now making is that, but whenever the public servants are supposed to meet PAC, they rather go, the minister goes there, you see him pleading. He's playing a very important political role. He's appealing to his colleague MPs, he's appealing to his colleagues, and yeah, look, tamper with them. And I'm saying that we should stop this shenanigans.
Okay. Let's
take the Auditor General's report, the judges seriously. I pray and hope that the legal system that the president announced comes on quickly. If we begin to crack the whip there, and finally, because these are contractors, there's something. You see, these contractors are very powerful, whether you like it or not. They have money, and they can make or make regimes. But can we also make sure that, I always say this, that the contract they are giving you, can we make sure that you demonstrate competence before you are giving the contract? That you demonstrate that you can. Because that sector, the contractors and how they become powerful players, they always make sure that we do not get value for money.
Mr. Solomon.
Good morning, Akosia, and then to my colleague panelists and your cherry viewers and all members of the United Party. You see, we need to go into how this whole project came into being, the Agenda 111. When the new patriotic parties administration came to power, they never had it in any of their manifesto promises, by way of a campaign promise, and so on and so forth.
When the new patriotic party came to power,
the new patriotic party, it was never part of the agenda to build 111 hospitals. It was never part of it.
Yeah, it was the president's.
It was as a result of COVID.
Okay.
You know, when COVID emerged, in fact, the initial promise was 88 hospitals. That was what we were told in April of 2020 by President Nana Akufo-Addo. Now, fast forward, he reviewed it to 111 hospitals. My understanding at that time was that there was not enough planning into the whole thing. And to even make matters worse, if you look at the Project Implementation Committee, who was heading that Project Implementation Committee? It was the Chief of Staff. What is the technical capacity of any Chief of Staff to, as it were, oversee a project of that magnitude? So, right from the beginning, it was wrong. Now, the project itself, right from the bidding and the tendering and then the issuing of contract, was fraught with a lot of corruption. A lot of corruption. People actually took advantage of it to even dupe innocent contractors. Some of the cases even came to me, that some of the people have run away from the system. They duped a lot of people.
How did they dupe them?
No, they promised them of getting them contracts.
Oh,
but
right.
They were sharing the contract as nobody's business. Just pay bribe, and then you are good to go. When you begin to do that, Akosia, you are a human being, you are a business person, you are not a Father Christmas. If you take money from me before you give me a contract, then you don't expect me to execute the project. So what are we discussing this morning? They went for mobilization, is that not the case? And they decided not to even execute work to the tune of 10% of how much they were given. Because in their mind, to the minds of these contractors, they paid bribe. And if I paid bribe to you, you took that money from me and you give me 10%, it means you are reimbursing me of the bribe money you took. And I was expecting the Auditor General to go deeper, dig deeper into this matter, and all the things that I'm saying this morning will be revealed to the people that, look, that is what actually happened. Other than that, why would I win a genuine contract? I'm supposed to mobilize society, do 10% of it. I've been giving money. I say I won't do it. The bribe money that they paid, some of them went and borrowed.
Is there also a possibility that maybe some people didn't pay bribe, they took the contract, but because they know they will not be supervised, you know, they can get away with it at all?
If you were conducting this interview in heaven and not Ghana, I would have agreed with you. In this country, the government will willingly hand over contract without coefficient happening. My goodness, that goes here. Let's be real here. They took money from. That's one of them. One of the matters is before me. The person has run away.
The person who took the bribe, the supposed bribe, is the one that has run away. So what's the contractor doing about it?
What can they do? I bribe you, don't issue receipt. You yourself, you are also double. Why were you going to pay bribe? And that's why some of us don't even get government contract. Because it's so unconscionable how much they demand from these contractors. You understand? And that is where the problem is. But I'm very happy that the Auditor General has been able to finger some of the contractors. I believe that we must go after them. And it's only by going after them that they will begin to speak the truth. I can bet my last person that if you were just going to appeal to these contractors, they will spill out the beans.
But even if we get to that point, the problem will not be just the person who's receiving the bribe. You as well, who is paying that bribe.
Absolutely. Then we name the issue to the bar, because the point is that why would you take a state's money and then decide not to work? You understand? It also calls to question even the whole prudence of the project. We have money as a country. We faced a challenge during COVID. We needed hospitals. If we know we have money that could construct, say, 10, why go and then launch 111? If the money available there, remember in our country, we don't have in excess, we don't have it in abundance. So you make judicious or prudent use of the limited resources that are available to you. So why would you say at a go you are constructing 111? Now I don't even know how many of it.
Well, the data that we have suggests that the president commissioned 3 before he left office.
And
the debate still remains that is non-operational. I recall earlier last year, Dr. Nsiah had mentioned that when they also took over, when they came to power, there were hospitals that were constructed, that were commissioned. They had to come and operationalize them.
He needed to.
I mean, he says it is normal practice.
No, but you see, some people, we must buy them from.
No, but it could be normal practice.
So you came to meet a problem. You came to meet an unserious thing. You decided to also leave.
He doesn't think it is unserious. He says it is normal. If you look at the health,
it is not normal.
No, but he also cites an example that you can build a hospital.
Yes.
The OPD, for example, can be functional whilst you add on. So he doesn't think that.
So the limited resources you have, you must make sure that the hospital is fully functional. Can you imagine if you had expended all the limited resources you have on just even 2, and are fully functional now? They would have employed the nurses that are sitting in the homes. Doctors would have gotten jobs to do. There would have been other jobs created. And above all, you and I will be receiving best of Medicare. With this, that these hospitals are scattered all over the place, and then few are only completed. How does this administration mobilize resources to go into? Remember, at the point, they told us that they were investing close to $100 million somewhere in 2021. What happened to that money? And to even further, that is why I believe that the Auditor General must go into the matter well. I don't believe that projects scattered across the country should have one cost. That you are building in, say, my village, the same cost as you are building in Accra. We were told that each of the units will be costing how much? $70 million. How did they come by that estimate? So these are some of the things that you must go into. And once we do that, you will see that we will be shaping our corporate governance and not just leave it and say it's normal. Nothing is normal about it.
Let me come to Awal. When I come round again, my question then will be, what will be your reaction to Dr. Zato, who says that places like the Public Accounts Committee has become like a theater place where people go, they know that they will not be punished and all of that. We'll get to that side of the conversation. Because you are saying the Auditor General must go in there. He's done what he has to do, what he's constitutionally mandated to do. Who then takes over? Do you believe that whoever takes over will also not be just theater? But Awal.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and good morning to our cherished viewers, and good morning to my co-panelists, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, Awal today a very calm pa.
So let me first of all commend Occupy Ghana for what they did. You know, as Dr. Zato had said, that initially, it's initially that happens when you go to Auditor Generals and we announce it, we discuss, and that will be the end. You remember somewhere in 2017, Isan Kuma and others went to court, and they were able to really secure this, that now by 2018, 2019, Auditor General can do disallowance and discharge and surcharge, so that the people will pay the money directly without necessarily having to sue them. You know, initially, after everything is said and done, it's the Assembly General who is supposed to take legal action so that they can retrieve the money. So Occupy Ghana did some work, and the court gave a ruling that indeed now the Auditor General can do disallowance and surcharge, so that we are able to recover some of the money. So kudos to them for doing that. And again, I must say that indeed the Auditor General over the years has been able to retrieve some amounts of money from people who had gone to Public Accounts Committee and so on. I remember those days when I was with the YEA, there was someone who took some unearned salary, left the country, and they were able to surcharge her, and she was able to pay back all the amounts of money that she took as on any salary. Now, it is true that Agenda 111 was not part of the 2016 manifesto. The 2016 manifesto, which she was part, Solo was part of those who were marketing it because he was in MPP at that time.
Is it true?
Absolutely.
Yes.
What is
we had.
I don't know. I just wanted to find out. Those who made the manifesto, right?
Dr. Zato,
I just wanted to find out.
Dr. Zato,
He said,
Awal, please proceed.
he's saying what I said is true. I just wanted to verify, so I cannot lie for him. He's my friend. I don't want anybody to tell lies for him.
Change an agenda for jobs. Yes, it's true that indeed it was not part. So when we came, there were several hospitals that were at various stages of completion. Some as far as Kufuor's time, the Eurojet projects, and the Bekwai Hospital, the Sewa Hospital, and some few other hospitals. So we concentrated on completing these hospitals. As Dr. Nsiansari had said, that indeed when we came, there were legacy projects that we had to complete. And we completed them. Kumau Hospital, Fomena Hospital, Tepa Hospital, Konongo. These are hospitals that were not complete when we came, and we completed them and made them operational. So that's the reason Dr. Nsiansari is saying that it is not a new thing that you will inherit the building and you make it operational. Even University of Ghana Hospital, when we came, it was not operational. We had to do the second phase and make it operational. So it is true. But you see, the 111, according to the president, he was in his office one day when Dr. Baumia came to him after COVID and told him, yes, this matter of public records. He said he came to him and told him that the delivery unit, his research unit, had done a research that we had almost 88 districts without hospitals across the country. So we need to fix them, because when we had a challenge of COVID, we had to go to churches for them to give us even holding centers and so on. So if we are not careful and we enter into any health emergency, we'll be in trouble, especially in those areas. My district is part. As Asawasi constituency, that's Askwari Mapo municipality, we don't have a hospital. We have over 400,000 people, inhabitants, but we don't have a hospital over there. So then that was how we put it in our 2020 manifesto, that we will execute these projects in these regions. Then we reviewed it and saw that indeed we didn't have psychiatric hospitals in some places, Ashanti region and the north. So we added it. Then we added 6 regional hospitals to make it 111. Now we decided to use Ghana Infrastructure and Investment Fund to really construct these hospitals. And that was really the reason we started the 188, and 4 were completed, and some were even painted, and it was not inaugurated. For instance, if you go to the Ofori-Atta, the one in Ofori-Atta, it was completed completely. You remember when...
So are you entertaining this on this platform?
I'm listening to him. I want to see where he's getting with it.
Help your
well, it's information that can be verified.
Because, all right, I will come
yes.
I will just...
So I'm saying that the one in Ofori-Atta was completed and painted, and everything was done. You remember Honorable Akando went there and said it was not complete. Vincent Asefo went there and did a video.
Where are we going with this?
Ofori-Atta. I'm talking about Agenda 111.
Okay. It's completed and functioning?
Yes, I said that it was completed and painted by us.
What you had done was that you were carrying me along other projects, hospital projects that were not Agenda 111,
which
and giving me updates and all of that. And I want to know how the bearing it has on the Agenda 111.
So I was doing a rebuttal where he said that the Agenda 111, the conception and so on. That was why I was trying to explain the conception for the Agenda 111, the funding for the Agenda 111, and the numbers that are already at various stages of.
But to be fair to him, he's not said anything different from what he says. He said that the president's idea was 88 post-COVID, You are just putting more flesh, but it's the same thing he said.
Yes, that's
so what are you straightening?
So out of the 111, according to the Auditor General, about 35 of them, right? 35 companies. That is what 35 companies. Some took mobilization and did not go there. Some did 10% and so on. Yes, it is true that, you see, it is something that you cannot really control, because contractors will come, they will be given the mobilization to start. And it is a standard practice. It is not something that is out of place for you to say that indeed if someone comes to bid for a contract, the person is not given mobilization. So mobilizations are given. So it is not out of place that the mobilization are given. Now the Auditor General is saying that these people, these contractors did not really, did not pay. They did not start their work, and he has. Yes, he said some.
He says that, just for context and clarity, he says that $11.16 million paid to contractors to work on 19 sites. Only $5.9 million worth of work was executed, and also $4.3 million paid to 11 companies. Only $2.49 million worth of inception work was done, and $1.9 million remain unaccounted for before contracts were terminated. In fact, what has triggered this morning's conversation is that some contractors never moved to site. Others did less than 10% of work despite receiving mobilization funds. Just exact words.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, that out of 111, 35 of them are those he has really flagged that indeed they should pay the amounts of money in full to the state. That's why I'm saying that, well, this is something that you cannot really control as a government, because I remember in 2017 when we came, the Cocoa Road, we halted the construction of Cocoa Road for Auditor General to do some auditing. I remember that time Domelevo asked us not to pay around 8 billion to some contractors who did not also move to site and so on. That's why I'm saying that, you see, it is a standard practice that when you bid for a project, you're given a mobilization to start. Those who did not start, at least they have to pay these amounts to the state. And I think I will commend the Auditor General for doing this, and they should follow through so that all these contractors are paid, are forced to pay the amounts of money to the state.
Okay. Solomon, you wanted to straighten a few things.
Yes, first of all, the Formula Hospital is not functioning as we speak. It's not properly functioning. Number two,
Formula Hospital?
Yes.
That's, I'd have my producer just check for me.
Let them check.
Number two, there is no public record to suggest that indeed the idea of constructing the 111 hospitals actually came from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. There is no public record to that.
So I'll give you the
so
video.
If you can give us,
I have a video.
It's not a video matter. It's just public.
The president, what is that? The president speaking about it and you're saying that there's no public.
But if he has a video to it.
I said the president said it.
What kind of public evidence would you require again?
I know where they manufacture some of these videos.
How?
To sit down here and let them bring the video from the house. Anyway,
You didn't even hear this.
I was posing
Before elections, when President said that Dr. Bawumia indeed came to him.
But why is it a concern where the conception or where the idea came from? Why is it a problem?
Everything. You know, we are in the campaign scene.
So you think it's a campaign?
No, he's only doing a bit.
But you said there's no public records to show that indeed the president said that Dr. Bawumia came to him.
To be fair.
Now you're saying that it's
well, tell me something. Why did it matter where the conception?
So it hasn't out.
It matters. It matters.
Like, why? How does it have the bearing?
Other candidates don't have their.
We are discussing.
No. Let's not stretch it. But how does it affect the 35 contractors that were not?
I'm saying that.
What is it?
You are here for them. I'm saying that. We are discussing Agenda 111.
Yes.
And he mentioned that Agenda 111 was not in our 2016 manifesto.
That's
and
not
I proceeded and I told you that the reason we started Agenda 111 has to do with the fact that after COVID, Dr. Bawumia went to the president, according to the president.
And I'm saying
and
that.
told him, I'm coming.
And I'm saying that. No, you see, if I want to get into all the nuance and small,
yes.
we won't make progress. I'm saying that the matter before us is Auditor General's report.
Yeah, you see.
That's where it came from.
I didn't start the conversation. He started. And was telling us that it was not in our manifesto. You asked him, really? He said yes. Then I gave you the conception.
Okay.
I only gave a
background. It's only fair then.
That's all.
Then Solomon.
But the truth of the matter is, so even if we have to go by what he's saying, the conception and then the appointment of the various contractors probably would have come from Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And what we are saying is that the contractors that they gave to us, 35 out of the lot have voted with our money.
He said they should be chased.
They should be chased, that's all.
He said they have to run it up. But it must not end there because it's happening across all sectors. You go into it, why they decided not to, that you see things and you hear things.
Hamza, how are you doing?
I'm surviving.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New
This is the first response I've heard. I'm surviving in 2026.
Yes.
The dollar is down. Don't worry. He's in
government and he's surviving.
The rest of us.
How is he? Oh, he's a member of a political party.
Exactly.
Are you in government?
He's a member of a political party in government.
The dollar is down.
That is saying
down.
Dollar is down. Inflation is down.
Even
fuel is down.
Even government officials at this rate are surviving because of the mess that we inherited. Nobody can pretend that the NDC government is able to resolve all the mess we inherited in a matter of a year. We cannot pretend. And so if I say we are surviving, it is not just in relation to only party communicators, but to a very large extent, even those tasked with the responsibility of leading us out of that wreckage.
I mean, the NPP doesn't agree, but we won't do that this morning.
But you see, MFR, good morning to you and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You and your production team as well as my...
He chopped his New Year alone, Christmas alone. He didn't remember his brother, even though he was in, and he's in law, even though he was in government. They say some things have to be said.
My party is in government. Having said that, I'll remember you, don't worry.
Oh, now you will. Okay.
You see, I've been listening. I think on my way here, I've been monitoring, and quite interestingly, it appears that we are all missing the bigger picture as far as this cancerous Agenda 111 initiative is concerned. And that's why I was kind of laughing when you sought to understand the rationale behind an attempt of giving credit to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. It is quite clear. When mediocrity becomes the order of the day, especially in the affairs of a political party, these are some of the things they try to hang on to gain some measure of relevance.
To be fair, he was responding to Solomon's comments about where it came from.
It doesn't still negate the fact that he was doing everything possible to attribute a certain credit to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
If the response warrants that, yeah.
But you see, MFR, before Agenda 111, and indeed even when His Excellency President Mahama was sworn into office, if you remember his first State of the Nation address, he was emphatic in his conclusion that in the last 8 years under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, this country was turned to a crime scene, the economic fortunes of this country, because of the kinds of things that we discovered upon assumption of office. When those statements were made, NPP members and members of parliament of that particular party took issue with His Excellency President Mahama. But on a daily basis, we wake up to that unfortunate reality that it was not just a political rhetoric intended to make the NPP look bad by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, but that these were actually facts he experienced as a new president. And I will demonstrate why. The first on the list had to do with the unacceptable figures that was used to construct the most expensive hall in this country, in excess of $97 million. National Cathedral. As if that was not enough, we also got wind of the unconscionable expenditure this government subjected the good people of this country through SML, where in excess of 1.4 billion Ghana cedis had to be paid for no evidence of work done.
But are you minded of some of the gains that SML said they have done?
I am not, because like we indicated, there were many other contractual arrangements, even in that sector, that were already doing it. MFA, again, we are talking about a regime that decided to use the Ghana Exim Bank under fictitious circumstances to give loans to their party chairman and party executives under the guise of executing projects when no project was done. And they were even unwilling to pay.
Hamza, is this an allegation or it's
not? It's a fact. Because Wound to me is on the list.
But these are matters that are before the court.
I'm coming. Please. I am trying to paint. I am trying to give you. I'm trying to give you a.
He knows the consequences.
I am trying. I do. I am trying to give you an overview, and also possibly the historical narrative that gives you an idea of why we are where we are at the moment as far as the Agenda 11 is concerned. It was a government culture of the New Patriotic Party to simply create, loot and share with no evidence of work done, especially when it comes to the benefits that are expected to accrue to the good people of this country. Have you forgotten the amounts of monies that were paid under the Cocoa Road projects to the likes of Wuntumi, who are unable to demonstrate to us?
It seems this morning Wuntumi is on trial here.
Who are unable to demonstrate to us?
Wuntumi is on trial.
Are you there?
And I like the fact that you are talking.
Let him continue, and then we all have our pie. What is you share in the chair?
No, I'm just saying. See, Wuntumi is on trial here.
It is his consequence. He knows the consequences, and I'm excited. He's a lawyer.
So MFA, in excess of $40 million paid under road contractual arrangements under the Cocoa Board with no evidence of work done.
If you want to respond, you note it down.
Okay, yeah.
Again, have you forgotten that not long ago, what's the name of the agency? Let me just try to pull it out. National Service. National Service.
I thought it was mean the Gold Board Bank of Ghana 2.4 million. Resources
of this country, meager resources of this country, was being shared amongst appointees of the past regime.
Hamza, why do we need all these reminders?
No, but I told you that historical narrative is crucial, so that you understand the kind of culture that led us to Agenda 111, where monies have been paid for no evidence of work done.
But when we do this, the NPP as well can say that when you took over, because it won't be the first time Auditor General is flagging something, surcharging.
I'm not just He's recounting history. I am recounting history. I can forgive him if he can demonstrate, say, in any previous NDC administration where monies were paid for no work done. It is with him. I'll leave that to him.
Okay.
But you see, we need to let Ghanaians understand the culture of the New Patriotic Party. And if we understand that culture of the New Patriotic Party, it informs the good people of this country, especially when it comes to how we move ahead as a country and the kind of political parties we would need in that forward march towards economic recovery. It is critical.
how do we blame a political party for citizens who have been awarded contracts? And
because the citizens did not award the contracts to themselves. That is why many of these guys had political connections. And I can tell you, when they assumed office, the first thing we heard was alleged payments of monies before someone could even have the audience of His Excellency the President at the time. You remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Then businesses started complaining about unconscionable demands in excess of 10% that they were demanding before contracts were given. Many of you in the media reported carry these stories.
Yeah.
Maybe we should actually even be asking the questions. Why many of these payments were made under Agenda 111 without works being done? For all you know, those monies were paid and political heads went behind the scene to demand exorbitant percentages that made it practically impossible for these contractors to execute.
Is this a culture? Because Solomon also alludes to this fact.
It is a serious culture. It was. And so, MFR, this is not a small issue. Now, you remember the lightweight matter, where even the Ministry of Health, on internal audit, discovered that Lightwave was paid in excess of what was due. The drip machines matter. Today, Zoom Lion is telling all of us that they are ready to repay the money that they were paid in excess of millions of dollars, not Ghana cedis. So have you seen the culture? That was the kind of culture that was in force under the last 8 years. But MFR,
Is that where you end? Okay.
now we appreciate the culture. And so it reflects in Agenda 111, where you have contractors being given money for no evidence of even clearing sites. And my brother says that standard practice. Mobilization is not standard practice. It is an exceptional tool. Sometimes we use depending on the objective.
In most cases, at what point would mobilization be allowed?
If you have the resources as a country, and the project is also a key
crucial project,
crucial for the government to implement.
In very simple terms, so what would mobilization look like? Mobilization
is simply to get you money ahead of you even raising certificates so that you can move to site. It's an advance of a sort that government gives to contractors.
And this is part of the total contract award, the amount?
Yes. Yes.
Hamza, I'll be very surprised that these people did not provide guarantees for this mobilization.
Yes, there's no way to provide. Exactly.
Because they need to provide the guarantee. If they did it, it makes the matter serious.
It makes the matter even more serious.
What's the role of the guarantee?
Of course, in cases of this nature, the government would have just fallen on that guarantee.
To take our money back?
To take our money back.
Would the government go through all the legal procedure before they go to the guarantee? For example,
it's a matter of you didn't perform, I go to the bank and provide the guarantee.
The guarantee that you submitted for me to sign the contract.
Maybe my question is, for example, the Auditor General surcharging them. Is it when the people are unable to pay the surcharge that you go to the guarantee, or the moment you see that the project was not done and you have evidence of it?
We have performance guarantee. Once the Auditor General says they have not performed, they have to fall on the guarantee if they did the right thing and retrieve our monies.
So Hamza, land so that I have please land and have
land. So this is the kind of culture that this government, this country lived.
Do I hear you say that it's not surprising what you're seeing?
No, it's not. For me, yesterday when I read it, I was not surprised because it is in sync with that particular culture. But then that is not the end of the matter.
They were just sharing them.
And that brings me to the overall objective of this current government.
When I come back, you tell me the objective.
Just under a minute, please. In the last election, we promised that we were going.
Hamza has a way of using this inferior communist tactic to talk about everybody.
Spoken for only 7 minutes.
That's a lot of money.
You were not here.
No, Hamza, when I come, you tell me the objective.
You're going to allow it.
I have to. No, I'm looking at the time. I'd have Dr. Zato respond to a few things.
I think that the most important thing is that, look, the MPP may have done all these things, but we cannot also continue to give excuses, especially when it comes to the work of ORA and matters of accountability.
Very important.
We have discovered the rot. We must be seen acting to at least win back the confidence of the Ghanaian people as far as the democratic space is concerned. We would not continue on a path of just exposing the rot and leaving it there. That is why, for me, sometimes I feel that the Attorney General's office is overwhelmed, especially considering the amount of rot that we are discovering on a daily basis. I do not think that they have the capacity to be able to deal with all the cases. And so
when we come around the table, you give us some recommendations how you think the government should fight this. But it looks like there's one thing common today. All of you are on the same page that it shouldn't end there.
Exactly.
We must proceed from even the NPP, the NDC, the United Party, and the political analysts. Dr. Zato, you're quite concerned about a few things.
Yes, no, one thing. You see, whenever we come here, Hamza has this way of trying to play victim to talk more than everybody else. He has done it to all of us, and I'm saying that is not fair. And this year, part of my New Year resolution is that I will let that happen.
How many minutes?
I just want to say that. Look, again, as I said, Agenda 111 policy is a good policy. Implementation, it has faced challenges. I agree. Even some of the things Hamza is saying, if laws are broken, let's prosecute that. If people have done wrong, let's do it. But those policies, that policy is a good policy. And one of the things we don't talk a lot about in this country is policy continuation. We should. A good policy like this should not be allowed to rot. I've seen some of the hospitals. There's one in Fancy, there's one in Wolu. Those are amazing. I've seen some of them. And they are standing there. So look, I would say that, one, do whatever, use whatever legal or whatever means you can to retrieve these monies. But let's reinvest it into completing those projects. There is no member of parliament, either in NDC or NPP, who will not want to see any of these projects completed in their constituency. No member of parliament. If you go right now to parliament and say, hey, if, my brother, there's no one in your brother's constituency, right? There's one in Tamil Center, Honorable Haruna's constituency. I've seen it. He will want it to complete it. I hear it's going to be the biggest psychiatric one in the northern region or northern Ghana. Everybody wants them completed. So I'm saying that let's not bury them under these headlines. Let's not abandon these projects under these headlines. By all means, retrieve the money, punish the perpetrators, but reinvest that money into completing this. Because if we wake up one day and we realize that these hospitals are completed, healthcare delivery in this country will massively improve. Right now, there are thousands of nurses waiting to be posted. If we finish these projects, we can post them there, and that is what? Job creation. There are thousands of allied health workers all over the country who want jobs. If we finish this, we are creating jobs. Right now, as we're speaking, a lot of people have to travel distances, long distances, to seek healthcare. My point is, let's not sacrifice the policy. It doesn't matter where it comes from. We have done relatively well with policy continuation in this country. Despite all the political rhetoric, a lot of good policies have been continuing. If you just look outside here, the road project, is it from
yes,
despite whatever it is, a policy continuation. A lot of them have continued. So my prayer is that we shouldn't let this be one of the normal or the regular political footballs we play and then we abandon it. Let's continue the projects. If I am a member of parliament and now, I will still be lobbying for this project.
The current government says that is earmarked 22.8 billion cedis of 20 is in the budget. That's what they will use
100 million.
100 million.
Yes,
the current government.
CD.
Oh, that what? That's
to complete 10.
That is what they said. To complete.
If they add this money, if they are able to get this money and add it, then that means there will be extra resources, right? So they should be able to do more.
Yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It is.
Hamza, can you confirm for me whether it's 100 million or 22?
100 million in there.
For the 20, how much they have committed to for finishing the agenda 111.
What's
It's 100 million.
What's your second? It's a good thing. That's the point.
What I do know is that whatever is allocated in the national budget is not intended to finish the entire project.
Okay.
Yes, they said 10. And
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that whatever it is, that's what I'm talking about, the policy continuation. It means that we all recognize the importance and significance of this. And that if they retrieve this money and add it to whatever that is there, then even if it was supposed to be 10, then that could be 20. If it was supposed to be 20, that could be what? 30 or so. So for me, let's do all we can for the sake of the people, for the sake of our health, and for the sake of the governance of this country to do it. But perpetrators not punished. And also, we must also look at these professional bodies. Look, why is it that some contractors, as you said, take mobilization or this money and don't go there? Is it a problem with the contractors or with the policymakers?
They've painted a picture here that because of the nature or because of the way the contracts are awarded, these contractors seem to, you have gotten the contract, but you have bills to pay. if you went and
So that's
promised
what I'm
a
saying,
certain,
that
that's a
we now-
picture they're painting, no?
No, part of it, no. It's possible.
If you
No, it's
paid
possible.
bribe,
It's possible. It's
or you
possible.
took the money
I'm not
from-
saying it's not. It's possible because it's possible.
Okay.
But you see, that's one of the things where we don't have what you call standards or
Yeah.
we need standards.
Yeah.
You imagine we had standards and we had standard listed contractors. To say that if it's a government contract and let's say it is a 50 million cedis, you must be here. You must be in this standard category to qualify. And we know that you publish all of them on the ministry's website. If it is a government contract and it's 100 million cedis, you must be B to qualify. Now we know that whatever contract is coming, the competition is going to be among what? These B
In categories.
these categories. We don't do that. And precisely because we don't do that, you will see that somebody with only a shovel and a wheelbarrow has been given a contract for what? 1 million cedis project. And then what does it do? So my point is that we also need standards, national standards, categorization or classification of what contractors themselves, so that they can be. It will help.
The number of minutes we have spoken for.
Pardon?
You know the number of minutes.
Hamza, let him speak. But I'll give the last minute to Awal. I will on the agenda 111.
He has
I'll give
twice.
You see,
Okay, let's
Solomon, we did it
You
too.
want to shorten the United Party on this?
It cannot be. It cannot be that I'm shorting the United Party. Solomon, do you know why? Because you were my source. You were my authority. I was checking
Yes.
things with. We're having conversations.
No, but I'm not exhausted. He's going to.
Yeah, no, the reason why I'm going to Awal is because this project came from them. It's just better with them. So, Awal, unless you don't stray to areas that will invite Solomon to want to respond.
Well, maybe he will want to respond, but I'm saying that I'm surprised that Hamza is still campaigning after 1 year. Look at the list of scandals, supposed scandals that he had listed. How many of them are in court? The cathedral, how many people are in court today? How many people have been charged for what happened in the cathedral?
You want me to answer?
Forensic audit.
No, let me finish.
Yeah, but he's going somewhere.
Let me finish.
What he said.
And again, cocoa project, he said some cocoa projects and so on. How many people are in court for these cocoa projects? SML, they are in court, right? NSS is also in court. Exim with Chamaun to me is also in court. You understand? So these are cases that are in court that are not conclusive. So I'm surprised that he's saying that, well, it has never happened under the tenure. What is
So
do you remember Bas Brandon? Bas Brandon. They overpaid the contractor to the extent that they had to pay 1.7 million cedis to the state. Again, Hamza is talking about corruption. What is corruption? When an attorney general has discontinued about cases.
The amount of money that was
Yes.
received, I'd have to check first.
Yes.
He's making the point.
Was paid back to the state. Exactly. So I'm coming. So you see,
Why we have to come.
I'm even surprised that Hamza is saying that some people were given contracts because they are party people, and this is really something that the NPP has been doing. That's why I mentioned the Bas Brandon. Again, an attorney general who came into office and discontinued cases that are worth $7 billion in this country. 7 billion. Discontinued it because they are members of the NDC. This agreement issue. 200 million. Kwalaji Collins Lauda. The Unibank. He has even accepted to take 60% of that amount and write off 40 because it is Dr. Dufour. And he even told us.
To be fair to the Attorney General, he didn't say because it's Dr. Dufour.
But I am saying that because it's Dr. Dufour, because he told us that in the NSS, I'm coming. He said in the NSS, some people are ready. One person is ready to pay up to 70%, but he's not accepting it.
But he also
has accepted the one that
he
Dufour will
continues
pay.
to say that he is a listening Attorney General. When the public were quite outraged about the fact that he accepted the payment from Dr. Dufour, he decided that, you know what, subsequent case will go to court and exhaust it. This is
okay.
the Attorney
So when it's on the other shoe, it is okay.
You have to have the Attorney General.
I'm saying that. He
didn't say that.
However, even before that explanation on Newsfile the last time on Saturday, he also mentioned that if he looked at the end of that Dr. Dufour case, there will be no, it is better for him to retrieve that 60%.
But it is wrong for him to retrieve 70% from NSS.
What if he can get more?
No, but you see, but the Dufour thing, what if he can also get more?
He's telling you that he can't get more.
But in the NSS, because they are MPP people, he can get more.
That's not the reason. You see, we've got to stick to the.
Why do you have to
Not
speak for
straight.
him?
No,
I'm saying that
for him.
this is someone who came in and said that
because
he
the
has this-
Attorney General has
But
spoken.
you see, you were being magnanimous
Emefa.
to him. But
Emefa.
he's now trying to abuse it.
Emefa, I'm saying.
No, but
what am I abusing?
unfortunately, let's just make it clear. I'm not speaking for the Attorney General, but because the Attorney General has spoken and there are facts, and so when you're telling me what you think, I have to take you back to
It is
what are
not
facts.
what I think. I am saying that in the case of Dr. Dufo, this is a statement fact that in the case of Dr. Dufo, he accepted to take 60%. In the case of NSS, this is also a matter of fact. He says someone has come with an amount of money which is amounting to close to 70%, but he's not accepting that one.
Who is that?
Is that not also a fact?
Who is that?
He didn't mention. He said it in a press conference and he didn't mention. He said it in the NSSA. So what I'm arriving at is that if a government that came and said they have really uncovered a lot of rots and they are pursuing, and in the last 1 year, it is only 2 cases that are currently in court, and they have discontinued cases that are in the tune of 7 billion Ghana cedi. And are they fighting corruption or they are not? Because they have discontinued cases. In the case of Atofosin, 2.3 million euros. In the case of Dr. Oponi, 271 million Ghana cedi. With Cocoa Board, they said no, they will discontinue all these cases because they are not interested in all these cases. And today they are telling us that indeed they are, they are doing
since
this.
we have other issues and we won't go there, we'll finish this with this one.
Yes.
But in responding to this, let's make sure that we're not inviting other areas.
No, I just want to deal with one or two that you said specifically. For instance, if you take Atofosin's case, he's just not being factual with the issues. Atofosin was actually the decision at the lower court was overturned at the appeals court. Is that the case? In any case, if you
and there was an appeal.
No, what appeal?
And he discontinued.
Oh, I was here when you were speaking. Why? I don't have time. Look, even if you understood LC's how letter of credit operated very well, Atofosin should never have been to court. He should never have been part of the case.
What about Japan?
He should never.
What about Japan?
But because of political persecution.
But they are all in the case. The two of them were charged for the thing.
And I agree with Hamza when he says that the Attorney General must set up. If you were in a serious country, I tell you the former Attorney General by now should be before the court. That in a situation where a company comes out, that you say they are owing 2.3 million euros or so, and they come with an offer of 2 million euros. And you decide not to take
They are not owing.
You understand? And let go of it. And later the state loses money. Who in actual fact have caused financial loss to the state? The Attorney General or the one that was innocent about this matter? So the Atofosin matter, he shouldn't go there. We can do our politics, but when the reality is there, you must stick to it. The long and short of it is that this government must begin to prosecute
and the Cocoa Board.
all those that have stolen.
You are responding to all the cases I mentioned.
We know that they have stolen from us.
That is a requirement that the whole of Ghana is looking
Exactly.
at. Hamza, please take few seconds, but I also want to correct. Just few. No. Then we'll, do you know why?
If you want
because
to I would humbly respect.
But okay, then do you know why? No. No. Then we'll not even go there.
3 minutes.
No, because Solomon, listen. When Hamza started, he went into history. It's only fair that Awal also goes to history.
I shouldn't go with any history.
No. Whether the history is true or not, the viewers.
No, they are true because I mentioned.
What I will correct the Smarties production.
Speak twice, and I will just.
No, it's not. No. See, it's not about twice or 3 times or anything.
I think that I have
the Smarties. The amount that was paid back to the state a while was not 1.7 anyway. It was 1.55.
1.5. Okay, but there is an amount.
Of course.
His own figure.
What am I telling out my own figures? When she has confirmed that indeed some money was paid to the state. Which instance in this country that some monies were paid back to the state are
let's be careful so we are not justifying.
No, that the individuals are even MPP.
At the auditor.
Just a single case.
Okay.
That state
Hamza, a few seconds.
Some monies that the people are even
I
MPP.
listened to my brother Awa, and once again, it is the usual NPP politics. I made the point that there seemed to be a certain culture, or there was a certain culture in the last 8 years. And I gave a litany of cases that confirms that cultural perception I made reference to. Now, you have made references to Bas Brandon. But one thing you have failed to appreciate in the case of Bas Brandon was the issue of the value of the contract. When I made references to Lightwave, there were actually overpayments that were not part of the contractual arrangements. In the case of Smarties, the Attorney General came to the conclusion that this project could have been done for less, and so refund money. And as a president who acts and deterred that kind of culture, where politicians and businessmen are seen colluding to take advantage of the public purse, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama acted by demanding resignation. Please, by
demanding resignation. No, he didn't demand.
Minister,
he should have fired her.
Proceeded.
What's the difference?
Also proceeded.
Ofori-Atta should have been fired at that time.
Our respected our public, please, please.
It was later we heard that he had nobody. There's no record to show that she was forced. I'm saying that there's no record to show that she was forced to resign.
Okay, we'll go to the next issue.
Supposed to be fired.
We'll go to the next issue.
No. Because Awa has interjected, we'll go to.
No, because it's getting noisy.
Who is making it noisy? You control him.
No, because I didn't even have to allow us to be going into.
No, you see, so first of all, that point needs to be made. If the president acted and monies were refunded, they should give us a simple example. One. In the cases that I have mentioned, under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, where resources were returned back to the state. One. That tells you the difference.
Which ones?
And that tells you why.
What's the question again?
You started 1 year ago.
Again,
you are making allegations. And you think the allegations should be
you see the MPP.
You were making allegations.
You see the MPP.
To be given to those that were.
When they churn out lies,
you are making allegations.
And you are correcting
okay.
No, you have not corrected me.
You are churning out lies. The United States government has announced that there's a pause on processing immigrant visas.
Oh, the Attorney General have cleared.
Of at least 75 countries. Let me have the three people who want to listen to
for
me.
8 good years.
Okay.
We're spending
effective January. No, Hamza.
Under the guise of bringing ensuring account. 8 good years.
No.
You were.
I will not let Hamza land. No, I will not. I will not let Hamza land. I will not let Hamza land at all because that's not a discussion for today.
Okay.
You can. If you're minded.
Him to go on that tangent.
It's okay. That's my power as a host.
I don't have the right of. He has.
You do have, but it has to be regulated.
I'm sure the NDC and Ghanaians are monitoring.
Yes. I'm more than happy to take feedback. So the United States government announced a pause on processing immigrant visas for nationals of 75 countries. Of course, what's even important is that us as a country, effective January 21st January of this year. Is this concerning, Dr. Zato?
Oh, I thought you
because it's not the travel visas and all of that, tourist visas and all of that. This is particularly for people who want to go and stay in the U.S. And then the country is pausing it. Is this something that we should be concerned and worried about?
Look. Yeah. You remember earlier this year, the government of Ghana was engaged in some negotiations with the United States of America that allowed the U.S. to repatriate, what's the name of them, some foreigners into this country. Mm-hmm. In exchange for what we didn't know. Well, what we got was that there was a temporary relief and we were put back on AGOA. And I sat here and I remember that they're saying that mostly internationalists, you are dealing with sticks and carrots. And that sometimes you get a stick or you get a carrot. And that in making international relations, diplomatic decisions, sometimes carrots and sticks are dangled. Remember, Parliament asked the minister to come to them and to show them what is a memorandum, is a treaty, whatever it is that you have with the United States, so that they could scrutinize it, they could understand it, so they can help us to do. So right now, it never went to Parliament because there were reasons given. The minister said the Attorney General advised. Basically, we don't know. But in that case, we could say that we had some carrots because we were put back on AGOA. It was so. In that case, we could say that we had some carrots because the visa, the application was reduced or were put on, so especially students could apply, those who got admission could go. In return, we allowed them to bring foreigners here, ECOWAS citizens. Some of them, they went to court, and if you listen to most of them, they are lawyer. That man, is it Oliver Beko? If you talk to him, and he tells you the kind of treatment his clients went through is something else. Okay. Let's close that chapter. We are now in a new chapter in a new regime. What again are the carrots and what again are the sticks? We have received the sticks so far. We have at the bad end of it. It doesn't matter if there were 2,000 countries involved. There are less than 2,000 countries in the world. It doesn't matter if those countries involved. We are involved. So the question is, how is this affecting us? A lot. It doesn't, look, even if it is short or looking at it doesn't matter. There are Ghanaians who have rights, who have duties. And sometimes the privileges of being part of a country is that you can get a good or a better deal. What is our government doing, or how can our government, what are the actions that can be taken to make sure that we are removed from this list? Because so long as there are some countries that are not on this list, how did their governments manage to get them off the list? So I want to see a concerted or a complete government response that says that we are taking steps A, B, C, D. But you see, this is now where the wisdom in demanding that report will have been necessary. So that we could have seen what we gave up and what we got. Today, how do we know, how do we move forward? So
are you suspecting that we're on this list, and then if we found that report, you may see the reason why we're on this list?
We may, because we are dealing with, everybody knows this, if you don't know, the president of the United States is a transactional president.
Yes.
He makes deals, it doesn't matter what it is. He will make a deal with you right now. If he wants something from you, Trump wants something from you, he will even break American law to get what he wants. He's making deals. He has used tariffs as a deal maker.
Okay.
And he's told you, look, I will review the tariff if you give me A, B, C. He's done that. And he's using immigration as a deal maker too. So the question then is that, what does he want? As a country, do we have what he wants? Can we help him? Or as a country, can we say, what do you want? We are not going to sell our birthright.
But he has simple reasons. He says he wants to put, I mean, you know why a country would want to...
That's the opening bid. I'm saying that's his opening bid. Of course.
That he's protecting...
Yes, he's told you that. But I'm saying that the same thing he did with the tariffs, the same thing he did with the earlier on. Remember, when we earlier put on it and move on from Agua, he gave justifiable reasons. Yeah. But we negotiated it. Or we got there by accepting this. So I'm saying that this is his opening bid. What does he want? And I think for the first time or this time, we need the government to be more transparent and honest with Ghanaians.
Okay.
Tell us that, look, this is exactly what they want, and whatever it is, take it to Parliament. So that when you take things to Parliament, it's also to make sure that future finance ministers, future governments can learn from it. And that students of IR and other things can also learn from it. Because right now, if we cannot learn from it, we cannot teach it, we cannot understand it, how then do we know, going forward, how to deal with such or similar presidents in the future?
Solomon, do you see any... do you see what he's trying to say? That if the government is quite open, whether it's an MOU or not an MOU, maybe we may understand why we're here. And then will the conversation be different if we didn't have those deportees coming to Ghana? Does it have any bearing at all?
Well, I don't see even the big deal with what the U.S. has done. The U.S. is a sovereign country. They are saying, you shouldn't come and live in my country. What's the big deal? In the same way, Ghana can also decide that we don't want to grant any U.S. citizen permanent resident in Ghana. What's the big deal about it? In fact, it's a non-starter. My only joy with it is that if indeed it's true that Mr. Ofori-Atta is trying to change his status, then it will affect him and he will not be granted that permanent resident status. Other than that, what have we been talking about?
It says it will start from, January 21, but also those that have applied, it will also be...
It will affect all of them. But the truth of the matter is that what have we been complaining as a country of? We have been saying that there is a massive brain drain from our part of the world. People, doctors that we train here, nurses, teachers, they are all trying to relocate to the U.S. To live there permanently. So if this law comes in, between Ghana and the United States, who is it going to affect?
But on a lighter note, there are families that are there, they're hoping that their loved ones could join them. Do you not see...
There is a reason why we were born onto this land. We need to build this country. If Ghana was doing work, would we be concerned about this whole thing? If you want to visit the United States, mind you, it does not affect those that are going on a visit, students, those that are going to do business. So I am very surprised that
America?
Me sitting here, if the United States of America says that we will not allow you to come and live there permanently, who told I want to live there permanently?
They won't even give you a visa to go and visit or a distance. No,
I'm not interested in that. So let us get it right that the United States of America is not heaven. We need to begin to educate.
But as you have said, considering how things are in the country, you were asking whether if things were okay.
Living outside in California, in San Francisco, and so on and so forth, they are worse off.
But do you agree that it gives you better perks if you
what does it do? People are in their homes. If you go and visit them, I see people are in prison. I go there, I always cry for people who are living there.
But you agree that their social amenities are better than ours?
What?
You agree that their social amenities are better than ours?
That is why we need to take the issues of corruption very serious. The amount of monies people steal from the public purse, if we are going to put it to good use, we will change the narrative.
But until then, until we fight the corruption...
Why must everybody leave this country to go and build another country? Why must we leave? That is why we must all be involved in our political discourse. We must all be involved in our democracy to make sure that we put the right people in the right places to develop this country. So that Donald Trump, between Ghana and we, when our people go there, are they allowed to go and occupy their Senate and so on and so forth? We do the menial jobs. We sweep, we clean, we do the security jobs. The last I was telling someone in the UK that pray that people from the developing countries will not have a renewed mindset to go back to their countries. Your country will be reduced to nothing.
And so for you, this is nothing.
It's a non-starter. I'm even happy that he has done that. He should continue. We will live in this country and force the authorities to do what is right. What is the big deal? Take your country, take your America. Let me take my Ghana. So Donald Trump says he's not going to allow us to be living there permanently, and it's a matter for me.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
We know your position on the matter.
A small one. People are trying to link it that we, as a country, we must never kowtow to any stance. The position that has been taken by this administration, I love it in terms of what happened in Venezuela. That is the right thing to do. Has to do with Palestine. I love it. We must not allow any country to think that they are on top, they are above anyone. It shouldn't happen.
When you say that what happened with Venezuela, you're happy with it?
How can Ghana's position is that they do not support what has happened to Maduro. Why must a country go to another country and abduct its president?
Oh yeah, okay. I just want to clarify.
Why from this village life attitude?
Village life.
The village life attitude.
Hamza, can the country negotiate their way out of this list?
No, and I will attempt to explain why. I think first of all we need to understand, like Solomon indicated, that the United States of America is a sovereign state, and when it comes to their immigration laws, they have legal regimes that are supposed to regulate such immigration laws. And for purposes of clarity, which African country is an exception as far as this list is concerned? Did my brother do that research? We are dealing with about 75 countries that are on the list. And Africa, most of them are African countries. And Africa, we are dealing with about, according to the AU, about 54 countries, not so. So that tells you that this has nothing to do with individual country dynamics in terms of their foreign relations with the United States of America. It is simply a policy review of the internal immigration processes of the United States of America. And remember that it was a major political campaign tool of the Trump administration, immigration. And one thing that also we must point out is that it has nothing to do with visitors' visa and student visas. This is strictly on visa applications or immigration applications that are intended to give rights to the applicants to stay permanently in the United States of America. So if you are still a student and you have gotten admission to go to school in the United States of America, you are not affected under the current ban. If you are simply going to visit a family in the United States of America without the intention of wanting to stay permanently, you are not affected. If you are going to the United States as a business person to do business, you are not precluded from still being given a business visa. And so that fact needs to be made. That tells you that this review is clearly in tandem with the promise Trump made during the campaign to ensure that they get rid of people who are not supposed to be in the United States of America. And leading to that also has to do with protecting the national purse of the United States of America. Because if you monitor closely, they have had cause to believe that many of these people, when they come, they rely on public resources or benefits. That is called out there. And the benefits budget is ballooning on a yearly basis. So in the United Kingdom, for example, sometimes even when they grant you permanent residence, after their assessment, there's what they call non-recourse to public funds. So even if you are unemployed, you cannot be entitled to unemployment benefits.
Okay.
So I am sure that in this current review that the United States of America is planning to do, they would explore the UK possibility of ensuring that even if subsequently they lift the ban and they want to grant permanent residence, that angle of no recourse to public rewards and funds would be an instrumental part of the new policy direction.
Knowing this and learning this, what's your response to
Somali? What is happening?
Somali is the one that actually birthed it in Minnesota, because of the benefits issue.
Okay, then what's this conversation about? If we know that U.S. is sovereign, and I'll come to you, okay? If we know that U.S. is sovereign and then they have absolute control over this, and it's not possible for a country to negotiate their way out of this list, what has the request that such MOU depend on that deportation? MOU such as that one be made public, because people like Dr. Zato believes that there could be something in there that we can use to negotiate our way out.
And that is the point I'm making. That you see, that's why I was a bit disappointed in that trajectory, because anybody who follows these issues knows that this is strictly. It is because the United States of America they have announced it. The UK, they have done that a number of times, so that they're fanfare. And that's why I made references to the number of countries that are on the list. And the fact that in Africa we are dealing with 54 countries. So that tells you clearly that it is a policy direction.
No, are all the African countries on the list? No. All of them?
Wait, the list is here.
I'm just asking whether all of them are on the list.
No, not all.
Okay.
Not all.
Almost 90% of African
so
countries.
So it's possible that you are African and on the list.
And you see, the reason why a country like South Africa would not be on the list is because after apartheid, the kind of arrangement.
Exactly.
So there's a different legal regime that regulates the United States of America's conduct to the country like South Africa. And any student of international political economy and a lecturer for that matter ought to know that.
And I know that, under the current United States administration is not happy with the current regime in South Africa. If you remember, that is why they are making specific about how they are treating white in South Africa. And about how the
regime and the country.
The point I'm making is that the point you are making is that it is possible for a country. If it was a whole African, if they say all African country, yes. So long as they have made legal, it is possible for any country to negotiate your way out.
My brother, Doc.
Negotiate is possible.
Oh, Doc. We are hijacking
I want to hear.
Oh, right now you're talking about hijacking the show.
I only spoke one. We are hijacking the show.
Well, let me hear.
Yes, I think I disagree with Hamza when he said that there is no way we will really do that, because I remember when we had restrictions earlier last year. You remember the statement that came from Honorable Kujeto Ablakwa? He said it is only Ghana that negotiated and got us out of that restriction of multiple entry and so on. Go and read.
There's a difference between a restriction. You should know that the restrictions
there were a lot of countries on that restriction list. And we were told that he went and negotiated and only Ghana was taken out.
But they're saying that because it's a restriction, these are different. This is different. Restriction.
What is different? What is different from this? They said you cannot enter. At that time, they said you cannot enter US.
Add somebody to a ban. Remove somebody from a ban.
Can I give you the difference?
Okay, so what?
Yeah. A ban is a policy. A restriction is a policy.
Let me attempt to see if I can understand.
MFA. The United States, in this particular instance, have not said that. Country A, B have relaxed their immigration laws. They are telling themselves as a country that they have come to realize that there is a problem with their permanent residency immigration laws, and they need time to rectify it internally before they open the process. So they are not penalizing.
They are. When you say you need time, then you now say these particular countries we are going to is it ban or we are going to restrict you. That is a policy decision. If it was a complete rule, they could say, look, because
it's a while time.
You can't say that. No, I'm saying that. If policy has something
I'm saying that in this country,
the policy has taken the losers, and Ghana is one of the losers.
Yes. So we're in this country when we're told that indeed when the restrictions came, out of Okudzeto Ablakwe's ingenuity, he was able to go and do that and negotiate for Ghana to be taken out of the numerous countries that the restrictions were put on them. You understand? So if today we are seen as an ally of the US until the statement that came, because you remember when the minority was saying that when you were taking these immigrants, it is supposed to go to Parliament for Parliament to rectify it so that we know what is in for us. Because the countries that these people are coming from, Nigeria and others, decided not to take them. But you decided to take them from here and deport them to that place. And we're saying that, bring it for us to see what is in for us. The bedrock of the foreign policy of any country is their national interest. And the national interest of US is that they needed these people out of that country. And Ghana went and took them. So we're thinking that, well, as allies of the US now, we should be able to really get these restrictions and so on. But I'm saying that, is it a case? Is it a case that the tone of our really statement when Maduro was arrested, that is the reason Ghana is added? I'm only asking a question. I'm saying that, is it the tone? That's the reason, because we know Trump to be very petty. Trump can be petty in anything. So that's what I'm saying, that whatever be the case, if there is a way Ghana can go and negotiate for people to get that, let's find a way and negotiate. So
I'm trying to find the reasons the US gave on the restrictions.
Yes.
I'm still searching it, but I like to think that on Treasury law, it says that people were overstaying, fraudulent issues and all of that.
Students came and they overstayed.
Yes, all of that.
And they said, yes.
This one, it seems to me that the US says that, you know what, I have pressure on my public purse, especially my social amenities.
People are abusing it.
So I am banned. I'm not issuing visa for permanence because of how much it cost me to have a permanent residence.
Indefinite.
Indefinite.
Yes. So it can be tomorrow, it can be next month, it can be next year. You understand? It's not really something that. But this one, when it came, the restriction came, and they said these people have been restricted from entering. Then our foreign affairs minister said that he went and negotiated and got that. And later we saw that indeed they were bringing these foreign nationals, even though they did not explain to us that that was an exchange to that. You understand? But that is what we had. That's why I'm saying that even this one, which is also a restriction, and they said it's indefinite, it means they can lift it at any time. Yes, and they can lift it for a country that goes to negotiate. It can also happen. You understand? Because it is not all countries across the world.
So negotiation can look like, I say that there's pressure on my social amenity. But for you, I'm happy for you to come and put pressure.
So that's what we need.
All countries are
that's what we are talking about.
This is the thing. All countries are there. There's a reason.
Exactly.
We look forward to.
What doesn't happen? So Okudzeto can tell us that he was able to negotiate, but this one he cannot go and do it. We need a statement from them.
That's the point.
We need a statement from the foreign affairs ministry.
There is a background to this. Everyone knows that close to $1 billion, according to the U.S. authorities, have been siphoned from the state of Minnesota.
Yes.
And they trace it to the Somalis. Now, in order to deal with a comprehensive problem, they have realized that already they have a database that suggests countries that are doing that to them.
Yes.
So that is a database.
So Ghana can negotiate and say that we are not
getting into that database.
Exactly.
No, but that's why Awal is saying that we can negotiate to say that how we got into that database.
Somebody put us on that list. That person can get out of that list.
Okay, well, guys, let's talk about Ofori-Atta. Let's talk about Ofori-Atta. Yes. It will be nice.
These policies have winners and losers.
I hear my name.
There are winners and losers in these policies.
Yes.
Both in the first one and this one. We are now one of the losers in this policy.
I hear my name.
The same person that put us on the losers list cannot put us on the winners list. We are saying that we can negotiate our way out. President.
You are a lecturer in that department of political science. And one thing we need to remind ourselves is the fact that in all this, Ghana also has a national interest couched in an objective. over the years,
Yes.
we have complained about the issue of brain drain
That is what I was talking about.
as a country.
But we've not talked about the issue of brain gain.
Oh, no, I'm coming.
Yes.
When you are talking about brain drain,
please.
talk about brain gain.
Yes.
What about the big game?
What is brain gain? I don't know what brain gain.
But Hamza went out there and got something and came back.
What do you know what brain gain is?
No, I'm talking about you went out of the country, learned and came back. So it's brain gain.
What's the net of?
That is brain gain.
What's the net of?
Can I make a point?
Hamza here is one of them.
So what was the point
I was
that you were
making the
making?
point that, see,
I have
Ghana
a pressing
also
issue
has-
happening in La Paz,
Yes.
which we will go to.
Okay,
Yeah?
Ghana also has a national interest in the whole of this because we've been concerned about the issue of brain drain.
And also the brain
And
gain.
also the fact
And the
that
brain
there's
gain,
the
yes.
need.
And the brain-
Which you are one of them.
Yes, the brain gain.
Because that benefits us.
Yes. When the medical doctor goes there, specializes and come back, it's brain gain.
No, I'm saying that even Hamza here went out there, learned, and he's back here and it's brain gain.
No, because is it the national policy, is it the national interest of the government that we should have brain
about
gain?
brain gain. Ghana should be concerned about it.
Yes.
We should be happy about
When
it.
it comes to our relationship with the US, because we benefit from it. So it's
Exactly.
something we take advantage.
Exactly.
But when we have our people living, that is a major.
Some of those living are those that come back. No, some of them
this
go.
issue
The reason why they become permanent is because they can get resources to get the brain gain.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
That's true.
The person goes, if he becomes a citizen, he can then do a master's, a PhD, and become one of the best scientists.
No, but resident, permanent
University of Ghana
resident.
podcast.
Yes.
No.
You know,
But permanent resident, you are a
yes, but you can come back. People who permanent don't
Okay,
come back.
all right,
Don't they
guys.
come back and establish?
Guys, we'll hang on.
No, I'm saying that Hamza here came
Hang
back.
on, my goodness. Okay.
National policy.
All right. So pay attention to me. I'm taking you now to La Paz, where my colleague Fatal Bayaga is on standby, because I understand there is a challenge with public transport. People are quite stranded. They're not getting transportation to where they're commuting to. Fatal, what's happening in La Paz?
Of course. You don't have
And fight against where affects them. So if we have brain drain, we protect it. But brain drain, are people living and not coming back. We think that so you have thousands of nurses who can have jobs. If they will live in village.
Then we get to understand what's happening at La Paz. As you can see on your screen, a tall queue for people trying to get transportation to wherever they're going. I want to speak to my colleague to know whether this is just a localized issue that's happening in La Paz, or if something bigger is happening. When we try and connect with my colleague Fatal, we'll get to understand. So there are two sides of the table.
Yes.
Hamza and Solomon are on the same page. Awal and Dr. Okay, I'm gonna go back to La Paz. I'm gonna go back to
La Paz Station this morning, and a lot of people are struggling to travel to their various destinations because of the continuous transport challenge. Many of them told me that they came here very early, but they got here and it's been very difficult for them to get vehicles to travel to their various destinations. We know this has become a major challenge for many commuters here in the capital. Traveling or driving down here, we saw a number of people standing by the roadside looking for vehicles to go to their destinations, but it looks like it's very difficult for them. And here at the La Paz station, just as you can see here, many people are really struggling here to get vehicles to their various destinations. We spoke to some of them. In fact, I spoke with a pregnant woman who told me that she came here about an hour ago, and it's been difficult for her to get a vehicle to travel to Achimota, among other places. So let me engage some of the commuters who are here this morning to gauge their mood in relation to this particular situation. Hello, sir. Good morning. Thank you very much. You are live on Joy News. How long have you been here, and how difficult is it for you to get a vehicle to your destination?
I've been here maybe 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes ago.
Yes.
Okay. But has this, or is this a situation that has always been happening, or is it just today?
Oh, it's always to happening.
It's always happening.
Yes, it's always happening.
Okay. So where are you traveling to?
Kisiman.
Kisiman.
Yes, please.
Okay. So mostly when you come here, you struggle to get vehicles.
Yes, always struggle. Yes.
So what do you suggest should be done?
I think we need more cars here. More cars.
All right, thank you very much. So let me speak with a lot more people here this morning. Hello, sir. Thank you very much. You are okay. So let me try to speak with a lot more people here. Good morning. Thank you very much. Where are you traveling to?
I'm going to Kisman.
Kisman. How long have you been here?
About roughly 7 minutes.
About
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Okay. But how difficult is it every morning traveling to Kisman?
Very difficult because coming from Ablekuma, already you don't get a car and you stay in traffic for like 2 hours. And then you get here on a normal day, there's a very long queue here. You stay in a queue for about 30 minutes at least before you get a car and you get to work. So roughly you spend about 3-4 hours before you get to work every day. And at night too is the same issue. Yeah, so it's very difficult.
And we hear that sometimes they charge unapproved fares. When it gets to the evening, for instance, the fares become very expensive. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge because every evening, if you are going back to Ablekuma from La Paz, it's supposed to be 6 cedis, but then the cars will come and they'll tell you they are charging 10 cedis.
10 cedis?
Yeah, 10 cedis, and you have no option because you also want to get home. If you don't go for that, you stay in town till the next morning. So it's quite a bit of a challenge. It raises transportation costs. So it's very bad.
What do you think should be done generally to address the situation?
I think the unions should clamp down on these unapproved fares because we know fuel prices are also going down. So if you are not reducing transport fares, you don't have the right to also hike transport fares whilst people are in need. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. So it's been a very, I would say now it's better. Cars are coming around. Initially, the passengers here or the people here were struggling in getting vehicles to their destination, but I think now it's a bit better. But even as I speak with you, the queue is still very long because of this challenge. And just as the person I spoke with said, sometimes when it gets to rush hours like the morning or evening, some of the drivers charge unapproved fares, and that is taking a toll on their daily life. Let me engage this woman. Madam, good morning. Thank you very much. Your Life and Joy News. Where are you traveling to?
I'm traveling to Achimota.
Achimota.
Yes, please.
How long have you been here?
Oh, I've been here for 6 years, 7 years now.
No, I'm talking about how long did you come here? Like, when did you come here? What time did you come here?
The time I came here, I came here 1 hour with this.
1 hour ago. Yes. You are pregnant. How difficult is it, to be in this long queue, wanting to travel to your destination? Like how difficult is it? I mean, you are pregnant and you've been here for like an hour. Yes. How difficult is it for you?
Oh, it's difficult for me that like the way I'm not getting car earlier to go. It have disturbed me so much because if I went to the hospital, what I'm going to do, it will keep long before I'll come to the house. So it will delay me. So if they can do something about it, praise God.
Is it always like this every day?
Always. Yes, please. Always like this.
So what do you want the leaders to do, the government to do about this situation?
Oh, we can beg government to help us so that everything will go well in this, what do you call it, in this yard.
But sometimes do they charge unapproved fares? Like, do they charge higher fares?
Yeah, our fares is normal fares.
Okay, thank you very much. So she has to enter this vehicle, and even though vehicles are not coming, the queue is still a bit long this morning here at the La Paz Thermal Station. It's been a very difficult situation, but let me try and speak with the station master as well to get to appreciate this particular situation. Let me talk to you briefly about this particular challenge. So some of the commuters tell me that every day when they come here, they struggle to get vehicles. What is the challenge for you?
Oh, in the morning, it's a rush hour. Because when it's a rush hour, everybody have to go work early. But in the afternoon, we have a lot of cars working here. So we don't have challenges in the afternoon. But in the morning, we have challenges. And even when they close from work, that one too, they have the challenges at the at that point. So that's the reason.
But we're told that sometimes you decide to create artificial shortage, so you don't allow your vehicles to come into the station so that you can charge on approved fares. Is that the situation?
Oh, that one is not true. We can't do that. You can't do that here. When they do that in the outside or on the road, here you can't do that. When a car go, they used to come. So we have a lot of car working here day in and day out. So we don't do that. We leave them to go and park somewhere so that we can charge more. No, we don't do that here.
You don't charge more?
No. We charge on the normal fare. We don't do that here. You can't do that 1-2 here. So.
And I'm also told that many of the vehicles have broken down and all of that. That is also affecting the situation. Is that the case?
Oh, that one there is true. We have a lot of cars in the shop because, this time they pass cost. So that is why. So a lot of cars.
But the spare parts dealers say they've reduced prices.
And it's not true. It's never true.
It's not true?
Yeah, it's not true. We used to buy them the same price. It's not true. Because we know that the dollar have reduced. But still, when you go to buy spare parts, it costs. So this time, everything is not true that they are telling us that the past they have reduced it. No, it's never true in any way.
But generally, what do you want government to do in order to help your transport business?
They have to do something about it because we used to help the government because the government doesn't have a lot of transport to work. So we the individuals used to buy the car, but this time even the duty self you can't afford this type of car. In those days you can buy this car 50,000, but this time it is 2,500, 20,500. You see, we can't buy it. So we used to manage the old ones like that. It's just a few people used to buy the home used cars.
Okay. Thank you very much. And in fact, apart from this queue, at the other side, there's another queue where people seem stranded, looking for available vehicles to be able to travel to their destinations. I will take you there so that you can hear from some of them about the challenge that they're going through in relation to this, transportation challenge in Accra. In fact, some of them say that it's been very difficult for them, particularly in the morning and then in the evening, to travel to their destinations. And some of the drivers are charging unapproved fares, very exorbitant fares around these times. So I will speak with some of these people here to get to know where they are traveling to and their challenges in relation to this particular transportation challenge. Please, good morning. You are live on Joy News. Talk to me about your challenge here. How long have you been here, and how do you feel about this particular challenge?
Oh, I've been here about 30 minutes now, and we are waiting for a vehicle. But as at now, there's no vehicle here, and we are stranded. So,
but where are you traveling to?
We are going to Boshe, DVLA.
DVLA. You've been here for about 30 minutes. Do you work there?
Yes.
And what does this mean for you? You are going to work. You are stranded. How does that make you feel?
I don't know what to say, but as you can see, I'm in a hurry to go to work, but this is a situation where you can't find any vehicle around, and we are in a queue over here, so it's just bad.
Does this particular situation, is it just today, or it happens like every day?
It happens, especially Mondays and Tuesdays. The queue that you meet here is really bad. It's bad.
And I'm told that sometimes some drivers would want to ride on this to make exorbitant profits. Is that the case? They will charge unapproved fares and all of that. Is that the case?
For that one, they haven't seen some that drivers charge over. No, for that one there.
Okay. Thank you very much. So this is the situation here at the La Paz Thermal Station, where many commuters are stranded here. They want to go to work, but there are no vehicles. They say they want government to take steps in addressing this particular situation. So So that is the situation here, MFA, and it's been a very palpable challenge that we've witnessed here, and they say they need government's intervention to, in a way, ameliorate their plight.
Well, thank you so much, Bayaga, for bringing this to our attention, but this raises more serious concerns, because then you ask yourself, how did we get here as a country? More importantly, yesterday, the government spokesperson, Felix Kwachofosu, yesterday was blaming deterioration in transportation on some drivers who create artificial shortage, so that during peak hours or peak days, they will charge a lot more higher. Is that the real situation, or we generally have problem with our public transportation system in Ghana?
Thank you very much. One, we have genuine problems with our public transportation system in Ghana. Two, the public transportation in Ghana is led by cartels, powerful cartels.
Really?
Yes, and these cartels have found a way to what? Embarrass governments and to blackmail governments to get what they want. And all governments. The thing is that all governments have allowed these cartels to operate freely. And so, this is not a time for us to say, we know the problem. Sometimes the funny thing is that you will stand on the line for 2 hours, a bus comes, it takes only 5 people, okay, let's say 20 people, you are still standing there. We know the problems. President Kufuor started something with the metro mass, the buses. We saw that some of them were even right-handed, they converted them. But that should have given us a start. Imagine every government in Ghana commits that every year, I will add 100 big buses on the roads for public transport. Just imagine that. Imagine every government does that. We wouldn't have this problem here. So what we've done is that we've privatized the public transport system to a few cartels, very powerful cartels, and then sometimes, this is even the funny thing, this is the thing that doesn't even make sense. Now we go to call them to a meeting, and then you sit and say, we beg you, these are the economic indicators that are doing well, reduce fares.
Bring it home for me. Who are these cartels?
Like the people that are controlling this,
which people, car owners or
whether they are car owners, they are trade associations, whatever it is, all of them together. And you see, a transport minister after transport minister, sometimes even industry. Why do we do this? As I said, Kufuor tried with the metro masses. I think under Mahama Mills, the brother Ayalolu, right?
Yes. It was Mahama.
Good. Last time we saw some electric buses had come. Imagine we just put a purported policy to say that, look, from this year, we are going to bring in 100, 200 buses every year and resource metro mass. And look, at this stage, I don't even care. If you want, privatize metro mass. Give it to a private producer and let them just concentrate on moving people across the cities. Give them strict performance indicators. Every year, let them go before Parliament for parliamentary select committees and render accounts. We can't continue like this as a country.
Solomon.
We need to go somewhere and start. So please, my point is that let's start with them. Bring in more. In fact, if you are here, there are about 50 or 100 electric buses that were left after 2004. Imagine even last year we added another 100. And this year we added another 200. If we do not bring in mass buses and we still give our transporters to them, as a country, we are doomed to fail. And this is what we see.
Solomon.
So our problem is multifaceted. First of all, the way manner we will do our settlements is the first problem in our transportation sector. If you went to a developed economy, you will see that they are well planned and makes room for transportation to be fluid. When you were in primary school, I bet you learned how many forms of transport?
I don't remember.
At the primary level, you were told we had water transport, we had rail transport, we had road transport, and we had air transport. How many of these transport systems are working in this country?
I'm not quite sure. Even the water people are even worse.
Road and air?
They are even worse off than those of us on the
Road
land.
and air.
Those in the islands.
The most
they are worse off.
We are not investing in rail and we are not investing in water.
No.
Where Ghana has got it, especially in Accra, nobody can convince me that from Oyarifa to Accra, there must not be any metro. From Nsawam to Accra, there wouldn't be any rail or metro. From Tema to Accra, even Tema, if you look at where Sakumono is, it's very easy to use this, what we call boat or small vessels, to be ferrying people from Sakumono to Accra Central, so that we free the road space.
But Solomon, even the one that we have, we've seen government introduce many measures. He mentioned Metro Mass, Ayalalo, and all of the others. Where's the sustainability and the continuity of these?
That was started from the developmental angle. All of us in the morning, we go to where? The Central Business District. And so it is very choked on the road. If all the vehicles are going to be on the road, you will still experience the levels of queues that you have at the various transport terminals. Because then a lot of the vehicles will move, they will be stuck in the traffic. Before they return back to the car parks, there will still be that long queue. So what I'm saying is that any country that fails to plan will be planning to fail. We need to go back to the basis. And every problem is a blessing in disguise. The government of the day must use this problem to have a comprehensive policy in the road in the transport sector.
I agree with you.
We cannot just be doing fast service approach. We just go and bring in buses. What are the roads for the buses to even fly on? What are the roads? Do a comprehensive review of the sector and then have transport authority. That will be regulating the transport sector. You cannot just have people every day they move on to the street and say we are GPRQ, we are concerned, we are pro-tour, we are what, and they will be taking government on a ransom. So let us have a comprehensive sector, and that is why the other time I was speaking directly to the current Minister of Transport that he has to set up, because he has to lead the policy. Ministers lead policies. And beyond the policies, who will be the implementers? That's why you need the authority to be implementing the policies of the administration. And we must not restrict ourselves to only the road, transportation.
Open it up.
Open it up. And the investment people are ready to invest in there. Because every investor wants returns for his money, his or her money. And once they see the opportunity, that they will come. Except that when we bring these proposals to your offices, public servants sometimes think about the country. They will take a proposal and go and throw it somewhere because there was no brown envelope. How many brown envelopes do you want to receive in your life? How many brown envelopes?
I think there is a disconnect here because if you check right now, the fuel prices are down. You understand? And now the government is saying that it is artificial. The drivers are doing that deliberately. That was what the information minister said yesterday. Now, I was thinking Bagaya will help us with the side of the drivers so that we know why they are doing that. Because, you see, I was in Ofori-Atta on Saturday, went and did People's Forum, myself and Miracles and the team. We did People's Forum in Ofori-Atta. We met the drivers. And I was the one who was even asking them the questions. The videos are there. It was even published on My Joy Online. I asked them, but prices, the fuel prices are down. Why is it that you're not even reducing the fares? And they enumerated a number of reasons. They said oil prices. They said spare parts and so on. Then I told him that the Spare Parts Association president said that they had really said it's not true. He mentioned that oil that they were buying at 80 cedis in 2024.
Who would you believe? The president?
That's what I'm saying.
Who's the association or a member?
No, the one who buys it.
Okay.
Not necessarily the driver.
What oil?
No, he said an oil that they were buying at 80 cedis.
But you must investigate further.
No, you see, this is what they said.
How many types of oil will a car use? Engine?
Yes, it's engine oil and the transmission oil. There is transmission oil, there is engine oil, and so on. He said the one that they were buying at 80 cedis. To be very honest, I didn't really prove to find out if it is transmission oil or it's the engine oil. You understand? He said that one has also gone up. Because you see, when you travel from Kumasi to Accra, in 2024, when fuel prices were around 14 cedis per liter, the drivers were taking 90 cedis and 100. Today, it is between 110 and 130 cedis. You understand?
What else can the government do?
The fuel prices are down. That's what I'm saying. We need to hear the real challenges. Because if fuel prices are down, I don't see why they will create these artificial shortages. as the government will want us to believe. Because that is what Felix Kwachofusi told us, that the drivers are doing that artificially. And I told you that I interviewed some of the drivers in Ofori-Atta, and they are telling us that the prices of the other services that they use to calculate is also high, even though the dollar is down.
That's
because we were thinking that the dollar should really give them some respite, but it is not giving them. He is saying that the chairman of the spare parts dealers, what he said is not true, because there is no standard price for some of the of all the spare parts. You go there and you negotiate with the person, and the person sells it. He mentioned that when you check Opel, its engine in 2024, Opel engine was 8,000 cedis. Today it is 10,000 and 11,000.
Okay.
So these are the reasons that they are.
Hamza, let me come to you, but I'm just struggling because I know that when the cedi is stable, it affects everything.
Everything.
Yes.
So how the drivers are arguing that, well, fuel is low, but the cost of other things are high, is something that we must look into. But Hamza.
Have the drivers actually complained about that officially? Have they said that this is the challenge they have?
Well, the last time, in fact, the day the minister was going to present the budget for the 2026, my colleague went to Aboseokai, which is where usually is a point of reference, and they acknowledged that, well, of course, prices of spare parts have gone down. However, buyers were the ones complaining that
they will buy.
It is the sellers that are refusing to want to sell it at the expected price because of the price that will come down.
So
something to look at.
It comes back to the question. I can understand the conjecture of my brother Awa that we all cannot corroborate on this particular platform in terms of the so-called survey that he conducted.
No, it was published here.
Yes.
On Joy News. Yes.
No, I'm talking about your so-called interaction
interview
yes,
the interview
with the driver.
It was published here.
That you are not even able to tell us.
It was published here, yes.
You are not even able to tell us the name of the driver, the source where the information is, and you have proceeded on the basis of that single interaction to throw out all manner of things and proceeded to even doubt the position of the minister responsible for government communications. But you see, MFA, we are all pretending in this country, and sometimes that is the most distasteful thing to experience. We know that as a cultural problem, Ghanaians have a difficulty when it comes to reducing prices. We all know it. It is easier for businesses in Ghana to increase prices than to reduce it. They do that cultural thing of simply reversing prices is not part of their trade.
Is it not a symptom of the free markets we operate in?
Yes, it should be.
I agree with Hamza.
It should be, but you see, that is one aspect of the problem. So,
you see, like undoubtedly now, maize prices are very cheap. Meanwhile, the bowl of kenke is still 5 cedi.
Yeah, exactly.
7 and 10.
But you see,
I agree with you. Yeah, you are right.
And it is not for nothing. It is not for nothing that if you remember, Solo, during the PNDC era, even government had to intervene in controlling prices, price controls. Because that seemed to be our cultural challenge. Now, my brother is commenting about the interest within the transportation sector. Undoubtedly true. Many of these GPRT operators, you know, they do so because of their interest, and they have become a challenge to all governments. But then again, MFA, the issue is that it is not just enough to bring in so many metro mass buses to the system, because as a government too, we understand that our responsibility is also to protect the private sector. So in as much as we are bringing in buses, we must not also conduct businesses in such a way that kills private sector participation as far as that sector is concerned. But if the private sector is also beginning to take us for a ride, then government can also show its muscle. And that is what is expected. I'm coming. Oh, please. That is what is expected as far as this government is concerned. And you see, when it comes to the metro mass, Dr. Zato, I think that the problem has nothing to do with numbers. It has to do with our maintenance culture too as a state. When you go to metro mass, and many of these state enterprises that are running transport businesses, the number of broken down buses are more than those on the road.
Oh, yes.
And some of them, for all you know, the problem is just a block and it's parked there. another a bus tie, another engine problems, things that we can easily, with a robust maintenance culture, resolve. Buses that are struggling with plug challenges have been left there to rot. So no matter the number of buses a government brings into the country, and we are unable to nip this recklessness in the bud in terms of our maintenance culture, be rest assured that those buses in less than no time will also be broken on the roads. So I agree that this is an artificial shortage. And the dollar is doing well. Prices have come down as far as international market is concerned. Even our port charges have come down, and there's evidence to that effect. So if the prices are not reducing, it is simply because that culture is not there. But it is the responsibility of this government. I will not sit in this chair and pretend.
Of course.
It is the responsibility of this government to ensure that our citizens out there get access to transportation. So whatever it takes for us to ensure that we confront this artificial shortage, that is not the responsibility of any other
in fact, on your screen,
and I'm pretty much
on our screen now,
we are capable, and we will.
Hamza, on our screen now is even letting you know how serious the matter is, because for a truck like that, normally it will transport goods, not human beings. Now it's been reduced to carrying human beings. In fact, tricycles, you would find that tricycles which are local parliament and all of that. That's how bad it is.
I will not buy this propaganda.
Why not?
In the sense,
how is that propaganda?
Artificial shortage. Please. Even before the artificial shortage, we have had instances of people being carried.
No. So we're saying how bad. We're not saying it's bad.
You are showing Aboboya. People already use Aboboya for businesses in Accra.
Hamza,
so I will not.
Don't be prejudicial. I am saying that what you saw at La Paz is real, and I'm also saying that the situation is even bad. We're not saying that it started.
I do not agree that the situation is bad because of the videos you are showing with people in trucks. Because I am telling you that even at the time that the transport
whether you agree or not, the situation is getting
we
bad.
still have instances of
it's getting worse.
When we are
just say an objective
is it being traveling in Aboboya? People traveling in Aboboya in Accra.
Okay, let me
what is it?
If it makes you, let me rephrase it. If it makes you better. This is how sad the situation is.
Thank you. Now you see,
as at last night.
Still, MFA.
It's getting. I'll go with you. Here's the problem.
I agree with you that
what we call
the minister, and like Solo said, the minister responsible for transport,
he has to work on it.
Must sit up and ensure that we find a solution to this artificial shortage. Because the Ghanaian people, they are not looking for excuses, they are looking for action. And it is our responsibility to ensure that we provide that leadership.
Hang on.
The lady has asked me to talk.
Hang on.
You see, so MFA, I think that it's not out of place for people to be demanding the minister responsible.
Of course,
which is what we're all doing.
And I think that it is our job.
I think
and he must ensure that this artificial, what's the name?
No, we don't know it's artificial.
It's not. It's the government that is saying artificial. We have not heard from GPRTU. Brothers, we have not heard from GPRTU whether it is artificial or not. That's why I said that. If your reporter has spoken to them, they are operators and they put their buses over there. So if really they are not there, the station master should be able to explain to us
but
whether
we are all on the same page here.
Yes.
We're all on the same page. Hamza here says that. Listen, Hamza here says that.
No, there's no point.
In terms of the artificial that the minister is saying, how are we here thinking that it is artificial?
Exactly.
You are corroborating the fact that, well, the dollar has stabilized the cedi.
Yes.
The cedi to dollar is fairly stable.
Yes.
Which
And the
means
fuel
that
prices are even
all
down.
of that. But he also tells you that our culture here in this country, because of the free market that we operate, we are just so terrible at reducing prices. If we have this culture, it can go to confirm what the minister.
So what I'm saying is that if we get the transport, people,
if the minister had told us that there are 1,000 buses regularly during traffic at rush hour on the streets of Accra. But because of this, or because of something, the people have removed 300 of them, and now they are only 700. That's what. Then you can establish a causal link between the number of buses and this. Then you can begin to make the case for what? How do you call that thing? For what? Fake.
That's a fair request.
But if you don't tell us that we have this number of buses regularly or usually at this time, and now they are less, how now do you tell us that it is not real? How do to say it's artificial.
No, but
my point is that you can't do that. You cannot do that.
And
So the point I'm beginning to make is that, and these people are private operators. Private
Let me have one at a
would like
time.
to be more on the road. And then, why would they go and hide their buses?
Why would they hide their buses when the fuel is cheap?
Why would they hide their buses?
No, but if
the fuel
if
is
the
cheap.
time of need is very pressing,
Yes,
you can
yes.
charge
So I'm
higher.
saying that the fuel is now.
Rather charge higher,
MFA,
build the road down.
MFA, the
So
fuel
you cannot
is
tell me that's
cheap now.
artificial.
Hang on, okay.
You cannot say it's artificial
Dr. Zato,
when you have not
Adala.
provided any evidence. As a government, the Minister of
Let me-
Transport should be able to give us
Hang on, let me read this
Times that they
message.
have declared industrial strike actions.
Christian.
Do they have their buses on there? Are they not
watching
losing?
the show?
Let me-
So it is a group interest. It's an objective they want to achieve. And you need to appreciate that. So why is it a strike? Why is it
Let me read this message from
during the MBB style.
So you see, Metro Mass came and they were doing
And so the
internal
reset has not
process.
been better.
But now,
So the
Metro
reset has
Mass.
No. We'll reduce this conversation.
Now,
It's out of
that's what he's
context.
doing.
Now,
One
Metro
minute,
Mass
please.
is engaged in long distance transport. So then they brought in Ayalolo to do the short ones within the country. And when you check on the Achimota Road, there is even dedicated lane for them, which was done in 2014. As I speak right now, there are a lot of the Ayalolo buses at Achimota old station, new station. They are parked there. I don't know the challenge.
But and Hamza says the same thing. That we have a terrible attitude towards maintenance.
The state. You see, Metro Mass has some private involvement. So at least Metro Mass, that's the reason you see it up and running. But at a point in time, the Ayalolo was even grounded. It was later that I saw some of them.
Grounded because of corruption. You know why? The cost of each Ayalolo. If they were to tell you, and if I'm telling you, we chase people in this country. So at the end of the day, you are supposed to pay back Scania. They are unable to pay the monthly repayment, and so are not left with anything to do servicing. That is why it's there. Corruption.
Yeah, because they were not in to really do this internal transport.
So what's the problem now? Because Hamza says that now it's the responsibility of the government to fix it.
Yes.
We're all on the same page.
Of course, and that was the point I'm making.
Yeah.
See, MFA.
We're on the
But
same
we are only
page.
looking at the disconnect
As a
because of
government, we understand that they cannot
the low level of fuel and so on.
So the government has to.
So I am assuring you that as I speak to you, government is not dealing with this issue lightly.
Okay.
And the minister responsible for transport, like I indicated, and I called on him, has to do the needful to ensure that beyond these excuses, we ensure that our citizens have access to efficient transportation system. And that is our responsibility. And this NDC government will not shy away from that responsibility, knowing the people at the helm of affairs. So be rest assured.
Okay.
That will bring finality.
I have a message from Honorable Baktalia Mohammed, MP for Sisala East. He says that, yes.
That's my MP.
That's what you want to remove.
That's my MP. What does he say?
Says that MFA, how are you feeling quite on edge?
No, he's my friend. I want to hear what he says. Yeah, he's a very nice. That's his constituency. I want to hear what he says.
He says that MFA trusts you. Honorable, I'm good. Thank you for asking. I know you have a soft spot for political offers like Dr. Zatin and Brother Awal. But be told, Awal is a troublesome orphan. Have no mercy on him. That's on a lighter note. But
ask him whether a bowl of cake is not 5
cities in Bolu.
The prices of maize has collapsed.
200 cities you can get.
How much is a bowl of cake?
Okay. Let's proceed.
And tell him whether the farmers in Tuma, the day chop Christmas. He didn't give me Christmas gift, so I will say. The farmers in Tumu could even store good Christmas because they can sell their maize.
Let's talk about Ofori-Atta.
Yeah, okay.
Let's talk about Ofori-Atta.
I want to talk about the suffering of our people and their family.
Which people?
Oh, his in-laws. They cannot sell their maize. There's no demand.
No. I thought he was drawing my attention to something.
Okay. Let's talk about Ofori-Atta. Okay, let's go.
So Ofori-Atta's woes. Okay, Hamza, I'm quite curious. How do you feel about all the processes so far?
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, I think that this is nothing out of the extraordinary. This is nothing out of the ordinary. Like I indicated on another platform, this basically has to do with, first of all, Ghana's desire to have the former finance minister before our law courts, and the United States' own objective of enforcing their internal immigration rules. And as far as I'm concerned, that is about it. But you see, beyond the legalities, MFA, of whether or not Ofori-Atta has to be brought to Ghana or not, one thing we need to appreciate as a country is the reputational damage his conduct poses to the Republic of Ghana. I have said, and I'll continue to say, that Ken Ofori-Atta's conduct upon leaving office is one that is not only injurious to the New Patriotic Party as a brand, but most importantly, to the international reputation of this country, as far as our standing is concerned. And MF, I will tell you why. Prior to Ken Ofori-Atta, in the whole of Africa, Ghana is being celebrated as an example of a working democracy. Many of our compatriots in other countries look up to Ghana as a shining star, especially since '92. International organizations like the United Nations make references to Ghana when it comes to an example of how a democratic culture should be as far as the African continent is concerned. Major superpowers like the United States and the United Kingdom reference the Ghana model of democratic progress. It had to take Ken Ofori-Atta simply because of his personal interests to begin to beat down on these achievements as a country that we have managed to achieve since '92. Because Ofori-Atta went to the United States of America and indicated to the entirety of this world that contrary to the views they have about Ghana's democratic culture, it is a sham. And that even in that democratic culture, he cannot be guaranteed free trial. And that what we have been engaged in, as far as our democratic culture is concerned, is one built on lies and sham. That is a direct attack on the international reputation of this country. That is a direct attack on the investments we have made since 1992 to build a formidable and working democracy. That in itself is injurious to Ghana and an affront to the 1992 Constitution. Regardless, that is aside the economic hazards he's been alleged to have caused this country. Okay. When he was finance minister, his authority came from the very constitution that he's now seeking to peace on. It was that same constitution that gave him authority to close down banks that were not even supposed to be closed down. Many people died at the back of that. People lost their families at the back of that particular executive order he exercised.
Those times when he was doing it, he had
no issue with the laws of the Republic of Ghana. Those times, all the
decisions he took, were they not justified?
So, but they were supported by law according to them. A law that was working. So since when did our democracy stop working?
It's okay.
That suddenly today it is unattractive.
It's a good place to learn. Wow.
You see, no, but
it's a good place to learn.
Wait a minute, please.
Where would you learn to learn?
Please, under a minute. MFA, what we all must be doing is that we must turn the attention on the likes of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, on the likes of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, on the likes of President John Agyekum Kufuor. For the sake of Ghana's reputation, many of Ken Ofori-Atta's colleagues and junior colleagues in government are facing our lawful authorities in this country on the lack of accountability. They must publicly call on Ken Ofori-Atta to return to this country in the interest of our international brand and reputation, if for nothing at all. Because we cannot entertain this reckless culture of seeking to damage a reputation that we have used in excess of 2 decades to build. That should not be forgivable.
Okay. Oh, wow.
A country that is able to remove a chief justice because of an allowance, that one has not injured our reputation in the world. I'm surprised. Hamza, A country that has been able to remove a chief justice because of an allowance.
Was the chief justice removed because of?
Why was he removed?
The allowance.
Why was he removed?
Misconduct.
Why was he removed?
The allowance.
Was it only an allowance?
Yes, that is the only thing, because the 3 petitions is only one.
So you see that.
It was only one that was used to write the prima facie. I'm saying that it is only one, and that is the allowance. So if
but the other petitions were not
used.
No. But was it one issue?
Yes, that one petition. There are many others.
It is only one that was used.
In any case.
Why? When you were sitting,
prime ministers.
Actually, to be fair,
I
was here.
In developed countries.
Hamza, to be fair, sometimes we have to allow our viewers to do the judgment and discerning. No. Of course, because the allowance he said was not out of context so much. Of course, it's a major thing which brought that petition.
It was one of the major things.
So please proceed. Please don't interject him again.
Ken Ofori-Atta did not leave this country nicodemously. He left this country with a permission from the chief of staff. And he overstaying or being over there.
In any case, why did he need to leave on a permission?
Because he said he was going for a medical checkup.
But why did he, at the time, he was not a minister. So why did he need permission?
Yes, because there was a transition in process. And the transition has not ended. And there is the need for him to also leave this country. So he had to go for permission to leave. Because
he was still an appointee.
He was still an appointee,
Yes. That's what I'm saying. So he needed a permission to leave. And he left. He did not give a timeline of returning. He only told them that I am going for a medical checkup. So what he's doing there, he's not doing anything illegal. That is one. You need him to come and stand trial.
The United States he's doing something illegal.
Don't. Hamza, it's not fair on him. It's not fair on him.
I'm saying that
I'm paying back.
He is over there. You are saying you can guarantee him free trial. Today, those who had stayed back, Hanan was arrested last year, was kept behind bars for more than 2 weeks. As I speak right now, the trial has not started. Is that free trial? Today, is
it true that is it true that he was kept behind bars just like that?
Because of stringent bail conditions. Today, Osei has been in custody for 2 months because of stringent bail conditions. And the standard practice...
The bail conditions, are they discretion? I think there's a point of reference we always do.
Because it had never happened. This is the first time.
But they say they look at the gravity and the value of the alleged crime, and then they put a value to the bail.
60 million, right? And they kept 60 million. Yes, but they kept him over there. Collins Dauda, it was 200 million Ghana cedi. He was given self-recognizance bail. Collins Dauda, it was 200 million. He was given self-recognizance bail. Atofosin was given self-recognizance bail. Almost all the appointees, even those who went to jail, William Tivier, Bafuboni, and others were given self-recognizance bail because the state will have to.
That's not true, William Bafuboni. That's not.
What about the others, Hamza? You're a lawyer. What about the others?
The lawyers, the judge will do that because those he has mentioned earlier are sitting members of parliament. They can be traced. They have there's a way you can.
So Japatu was.
So that is why
of parliament.
They will not treat a sitting member.
Japatu is a sitting member of parliament.
What was Japatu?
He was part of the Atufosin case.
And what was it?
It was also self-recognizance. He was never kept for 1 day. None of the appointees. None of the former appointees. None of the former appointees under NDC were even detained for more than a day during their trial.
So the point is,
and this is a fact. So now
it's a good point to know.
Yes, because you see now people who are in this country for the last 2 months, someone is there because the court is saying that bring landed properties to justify that indeed you will not run away. So how does Ken Ofori-Atta see a fair trial here? Even Obama, who wrote something on Facebook.
The guy absconded even before.
Obama, who even wrote something on Facebook, was kept for 3 days.
You made the assertion that...
I'm saying that Obama wrote something on Facebook. He was kept for 3 days.
You make the assertion that he said he was unwell and needed to seek health services in the U.S.
Yes.
But you're also thinking that how would he see fair trial? But how did he know he was going to go on trial? For him to
I'm saying that when they asked
him to know
return,
that it will not be fair.
When they asked him to return,
okay,
the Attorney General sat on this table and told him that last Saturday that the former Attorney General in the U.S. said that his apprehensions are that he will not be guaranteed a fair trial in this country.
In fact, it's not even just his apprehensions. It is the fact that the nature of the case, you hear that for even extradition, if the Attorney General is so much minded and involved, they fear that it will be political persecution.
Exactly.
So it's something that exists anyway.
I am saying that those who had stayed and look at what is going on, look at what they are going through. So if Ken Ofori-Atta is in this country, he will never be given any bail. I'm telling you, he will be kept just like the man from NSS has been kept back.
Should I walk away from this conversation believing that, so apparently he's not seeking health care, but he knows that he won't have a fair trial?
I'm doing a discussion. I'm saying that he's seeking health care over there.
Okay.
But according to the Attorney General, when he spoke to one of his lawyers, the lawyers were saying that he's afraid that he may not be given fair trial.
It's a fair feeling
in this country. And I'm justifying it what is happening in this country because the president has already packed the judiciary. This is something that he told us in 2023.
Hamza says that the same laws were the laws that he operated under when he was finance minister.
Yes.
But now on the other side, he's afraid that these laws will not be fair to him.
So you see, the problem is that the law works for some group of people in this country in the last 1 year. Today, someone who was jailed for 5 years has gone for the Supreme Court has given him a bail and only 2 sureties without really serious justification, and it is 500,000. Someone who has been jailed for 5 years, Daniel Axim, just yesterday the story came. So when it is an NDC person, the thing is the issue is different, and when it's an NPP person, it is also different.
Okay.
The trial can still go on without him in this country.
Let me come to Dr.
Sednam Tamakulu was jailed in absentia. Are they not interested in bringing Sednam Tamakulu, who has been jailed?
Dr. Zato, thank you, Awal.
If I wake up tomorrow morning and Ken Ofori-Atta is here, arrested, handcuffed, taken to police court, I don't care. If I wake up tomorrow and Ken Ofori-Atta is not here, but the state has gone to court, instituted criminal charges against him, and they prosecute him, I don't care. Ken Ofori-Atta doesn't do it for me, and I think that me in particular have been forced to talk a lot about these Ken Ofori-Atta issues than I want to. If he comes back, as the Muslims will say, Alhamdulillah. If he doesn't come back, Alhamdulillah.
In that case, let me allow Solomon to speak then.
So I believe that I've also made this point a lot of clear. If you are a government official,
if he doesn't come back, representing the national interest.
If you know, I've been told by some good lawyers, some very good lawyers, that even if he's not here, he can be tried and can be found guilty. I've been told by some very good lawyers. If you don't know that, they have told me.
The same lawyers have said to us.
That's what I'm saying.
The same lawyers have also taught us that whether a country finds you guilty of a crime and you are outside of the jurisdiction, extradition is subjected to that country's processes, and it's very tough.
So
they'll rather have you.
The state has powers that we don't have. The state can do whatever, and they should do whatever they want to bring him back. I don't care if today we get up and say that the government of Ghana has struck a deal with the US to bring him back. Again, I don't give it them. Sorry, I don't care. Whatever you do with him, I don't care. But there's a bigger picture here that I wanted to look at. I have said that any government appointee, former or current, who swears an oath to take an office and perform a function, you should also know that one day you may be forced to also take an oath in court to determine whether you are innocent or guilty. When that day comes, you should be ready and face it. But there's something that he said, Hamza said I want to go to about international reputation Owusu. And that really got to me, because I'm asking the question, which one is an individual is fighting extradition or whatever in the United States? And you're going to, but you fire a chief justice a co-equal arm of government, and that doesn't injure the international position of a country. Since this country started, since 1992, let's say 1992 Constitution, no president has ever fired a Chief Justice. In fact, in this case, the current last we're talking about, that case has been adjudicated in ECOWAS. The ECOWAS court is adjudicating. So please, when we shouldn't say and make such grandiose arguments, especially when we know that it is not true, when we know that the evidence there. If you think that an individual say that, look, I'm in the United States of America, I won't come back to face justice. If your argument is that that is injurious to the international reputation of the country, but then you sat down, supervise, watch, praise, you were happy with the processes that removed a co-equal arm of government, then what injury are you talking about? And so what? Because it's a constitutional.
When you were removing the Chief Justice, was it not a constitutional process?
When who was? I didn't remove anybody.
Your party.
I didn't remove anybody.
I mean, your party.
We never removed Chief Justice.
The election.
Don't lie.
Never removed the Chief Justice.
That was what they see. This is what they say. Akufo-Addo removed Charlotte Osei. Mahama removed Tokun.
No, that's not what.
Every removal is a removal. It doesn't matter. Just because
it's a woman not fighting.
You can now not say that.
Using the law, has a woman left the country?
The argument I'm making is that is more injurious to our democracy than what you're talking about.
How is it?
That's more injurious because you say that you are interfering with the justice delivery system. You say that you are interfering, to say that you are using firing of Chief Justice
you don't even understand
the distance.
You are just championing the party's position.
Party's position. You sit down there, you understand.
Solomon.
You understand position.
When Ofori-Atta was closing down banks,
I don't care.
Was he not using the
I did nothing wrong. I don't care.
The businessmen were trying. Didn't one of them accuse him of trying to take his business?
I made that point clear.
It is my turn.
No, it's Solomon's
He did
turn.
nothing wrong by closing down banks.
It is not. It is not.
It is not part of the cases that he has been.
It is part of the cases that are
wow. No way. No.
It is part.
Is this how you want to start the 20?
You think that Ofori-Atta has just been brought back in relation to SML matter? And the Attorney General also has his own investigation for him.
Okay, no. Both of you have. No, let's be clear here. Let's be clear here. Both of you have. Your mics are off, actually. So there are two issues here. One party sees what is grave on the image of a country. Another person also thinks that this is more grave.
No, that's not actually in quotation.
No. What I'm saying is that what you put value. No. What you put value on is that we have viewers who have different principles and theories. Let's allow them.
Again, my position on Ken.
You have made your point. You say you don't care.
I don't care.
That's quite clear. Solomon.
That's why he's not. When it comes to his party interest, he's not nationalistic. You don't care.
It comes tomorrow to
accountability.
Please mute his as well.
Accountability. You don't care.
Who knows their party's constitution and the aims and objectives, objective 13, enjoins them to manage the economy of the country with efficiency and prudence, guided by the consideration of the national interest. This is captured in the MPP's constitution. We'll sit here and say that when it comes, alhamdulillah. When it does not come, alhamdulillah.
Can you imagine?
Then why would you want to come and lead this country?
But he's not a member of the NDC.
Jibodi.
On this,
when you were speaking, I was here. I didn't.
You were interfering to what you were here. You were where? You were rejected.
Again, let me quickly say that
yes,
if there has been anything that has happened or did happen in 2025 that gladdened my heart, it was the removal of the Chief Justice.
Thank you.
Nothing that took place did not conform to the constitution of this country. In fact, a Ghanaian who is a businessman who has invested so much into this country, Daniel Ofori, petitioned. That petition went through the process. The Chief Justice had the benefit of meeting a committee, presented 4 lawyers, submitted evidence to the tune of almost 10,000. At the end of the day, the recommendation was that indeed the 21 allegations of misbehavior was tabled by Mr. Daniel Ofori was sustainable. They were true.
Who said that?
And so the recommendation was that she had to be fired, and indeed she was fired. And the system is running. Recently, when Justice Paul Bonnie's led judiciary gave a ruling on the Pandai, we saw the MPP and the NDC all clapping for this judiciary. So it means something good has happened to this country. In terms of Ken Ofori-Atta, this is a former finance minister whose lawyers made all of us to believe, his lawyers in this country, made all of us to believe that he was that ill, he was that sick. The man couldn't walk. We were that wicked to call on him to come back home. Only to be told by ICE that at the time they arrested him, the man was so fit. Since they have written the lawyers off.
They didn't say that.
They said that it was fit for detention.
So what?
Like he was on medication. But anyway, I think today has been a good day.
No, but you want to catch me?
Solomon.
They cannot debit and credit.
In life, there's debit and credit. In life, this is very normal.
This is not empty.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I want to apologize. It's just my time. My time is done. I want to say thank you so much for Dr. Joshua Zato, lecturer and political analyst, Solomon Owusu, director of COPS, United Party, Awal Mohammed, member of the NPP communications team, Hamza Suhini, lawyer, and member of the ADC communications team. I want to wish. Okay. Here's why I'm paid. Hang on. Here's why I'm paid, and I need to do it well. This is why I'm paid. The AM show is sponsored by Shield Silicon Page from Azar Group and Syntex Pipe. I want to wish a happy birthday to Rebecca Okine, who is one of our sanitation workers here. Rebecca is my very good friend. Happy birthday to you, Becky. And as well, happy birthday to you today. Yeah, that's Becky. She's one of our sanitation workers. And happy birthday, Mom. Today we celebrate you, our strength, our guide, and our greatest blessing. Thank you for the endless sacrifices, the prayers you whisper for us, and the love that never runs dry. We love you beyond. And this is from your daughter and son, Vera and Andy Amwako. Thank you so much. Well, stay. The show is next.